I spy with my little eye a rice cooker. Hello everyone, it's time for your regularly scheduled time with me, and I am back to PNG because... So, we're gonna be moving on to Chapter 7, last time we finished Chapter 6. And these two chapters, their names are, like, Part 1, Part 2 of whatever it's called. Exactly. So... Not as if the chapters aren't already, like, continuous, but they're more connected, yeah. They're Resistance too. So, yeah. Can I give a better recap? Not really. There was an arsonist. Well, we'll figure out what's going on when we're in it. Let's get into their Resistance too. Everybody here? It had already been 3 days since Arimura and I had been attacked by the pyrokinetic. We'd been worried that she might attack us again, but until now nothing had happened. And thanks to that, we'd finally calmed down, and today I was feeling good enough to revisit what we knew about the case. First, before we get started, let me introduce you to... Ciao, I'm Arimura Hirae, and I'm always smiling. It's so nice to meet you all. Understandable reaction. Nice to meet you too. Clap, 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 clap. It was so hard to keep up with the way her mood seemed to change all the time. Sariko was applauding, but no one else was. Kazuki was playing ESO2, or some other game, like she always did. She turned around to take one look at Arimura, then went back to her computer screen. Arimura isn't actually joining the newspaper club, she's just helping us. I'm in the Lit Club, actually, but there's no need to sweat the details. I'll be coming by as much as I can. What a good bean. For what it was worth, I'd already told all the newspaper club members about Arimura's power. Hey, Hina-chan, can I ask you something? Sure. Oh, but my measurements are made in secret. I don't really know if I care about Arimura's measurements. The hell did you just say, asshole? And her mood changed again. What is the real you, Hina-chan? Sometimes you're cheerful, and sometimes you're serious, and sometimes you're scared. Well, which do you think it is? What a cute assortment of Come on, you don't have to think about it that hard. But what I can tell you is that knowing when somebody's telling the truth is a lot harder than you think, Seri. If you don't mess around a little, you can't survive. Sariko seemed lost in thought, as if she didn't really understand. Oh, right. You. Kazuki jumped a little. Hey, you. You're first here, right? Oh, sorry. Can you say that out loud for me? Oh, Hina-chan. Don't ask her that. Hina-chan doesn't talk. Huh? She doesn't? Do you mean she can't talk? No,
そういう
I
わ
don't
けじゃ
think
ないは
that's
ず
the
なんだけど、
case.
とにかく
She just
喋り
really
たがらねえ
doesn't
んだ
want
よ。
to.
だから俺たちも
Even
まだ
you've
一
never
回も
actually
和樹の
seen her
喋ってると
talk.
こ聞いたことなかったりしてな。
へえ、そうなんだ。
I see. Arimita stared at Kazuki's face.
オッケーオッケー。
Okay, Kazuki Hana-chan, right?
でいいんだよね。
So, can I call you
ってこと
Hana?
は花でオッケー？
Hana de okay.
じゃあ花。
Okay, Hana.
これから
Nice to meet
よろしく。
you. I thought Arimita might have found it difficult to get along with Kazuki, but maybe I was wrong. Since Kazuki didn't talk, that might actually be easier for Arimita, since she didn't have to worry about knowing if she was lying.
それじゃあ早速始め
Okay,
るか。
let's get started.
待ってくれ。
Wait,
そ
before
の前
that,
に
there's
も
something
う
I
一
have
つ
to
言ってお
tell
かなきゃ
you.
いけない。
Kurisu is...
実はクルスが
遅れちゃってごめんなさい。
Sorry, I'm late. Kurisu opened the door and came inside. Right on cue. Her injury had healed, and Dad had told her that it was okay for her to move around, so she'd come back to school today.
副部長
Vice President.
もう話
Have
始
you
まってる
started already?
あ、い
Nope.
や
We definitely haven't been
俺たちは
talking about the
例の
case.
事件
No,
についての話
sorry.
とかこれっぽっちも。
いいんだ伊藤
It's okay, Yuto.
あ
His little
クルスも一緒に
Kurisu is going to
事
help
件の
us solve
解
the
明をしてくれ
case.
ることになった。
え
Huh?
そうなのか
She is?
ええ、
Yes.
みんなの
I
お目
guess
付
you
け
could
役
say
って
it's
と
my
ころ
job
ね
to。keep an eye on you. Kurisu glanced at me for just a moment, worried. But it was only for a moment, and then she went back to normal.
とにかく
Anyway,
これまでの
let
事
me
件
hear
に
your
ついて意見
opinions
を
on the
聞
case
かせ
thus
てもら
far.
うわ。
If there's
少
anything
しで
that's
もお
even
か
a
しなと
little
ころ
off,
があれ
I'll
ば
gladly point
遠
it
慮な
out.
く指摘するからそのつもりで。
The meek attitude she'd had when she was her was gone, and now she was back to her usual self. Ito's shoulders slumped, but at the same time, he looked a little happy. Everyone was always obnoxious, and at times a little annoying, but this is the way everyone wanted Kurisu to be. She was always obnoxious. I don't know what I said, but I don't think that it was that. Anyways,
じゃあ全員揃ったところで
okay. And now
ミー
that
ティングを
everyone's
始めようと思うん
here,
だけ
I'd
ど
like to start the meeting.
先に
But
一つ
first, there's something I
見てお
want
いて
to
ほ
show
しいものがある
you.
んだ。
お
Hmm?
なんだ
What's that?
まだ尾上とク
You've
ルス
only
にしか
shown
ちゃ
this
ん
to
と見せて
Inoue
な
and
い。
Kurisu so far.
成功率も
It doesn't work
100% じゃない
100%
か
of
ら
the time, so
失
it
敗する
might
かもしれないけ
fail,
ど
but...
うん
Ito, Kazuki, and Arimura looked at me in confusion. I nodded and grabbed a pen, then put it on the table. Here we go. I tried my best to focus. And then, just like the scrap of paper earlier, I imagined the pen moving.
問題はここからだ。
Here's the hard part.
いける
Can I do it? As I focused as hard as I could, I saw it slowly appear in the corner of my eye.
よし、来た。
Okay. There it is. Now all that was left was to imagine my delusion infecting everyone else. The next moment, the pen started to jerk upward. It's an Upa pen! How cute.
お
The three of them raised their voices in surprise as the pen slowly moved upward. When I stopped imagining the floating pen, my D-sword disappeared from my field of vision, and the pen slammed back down on the table. Wow.
おい
Miyashiro! That's incredible!
すげえよ
いっ た通
Just like I
りまだ
said,
完
I
璧じゃない
haven't
んだけ
mastered
ど
it yet, but
いつの
And
間
when
にで
did
きる
you
よう
learn
にな
to
ったん
do
で
that?
す？
尾上に協力しても
Onoi
らっ
helped me
て
try a
いろい
bunch
ろ
of
とやって
different
みたんだ
things. Ito gasped in amazement. When the pyrokinetic attacked me, I was forced to accept that I really was a psychic. After that, I decided to master my power instead of running away from it, and I'd gone through a lot of trial and error to do so. At first, I tried to do it on my own, but that didn't go well. And then I remembered what Kunosato-san had said. She said that a gigalomaniac would only reboot something by transmitting the delusions into the dead spots of another person's brain to create what she'd called a shared reality. Which meant that if I didn't have someone to share my delusion with, it would never work. So when I started practicing with Serika, things began to go much better.
でも先
But
輩、
senpai,
言って
you know
おき
that
ま
if
すけ
you
ど、
start using
そ
that
ういう
power
の
for
いい気
fun,
になって使っ
nothing
た
good's
りす
going to
ると
come of it,
ろくな
right?
ことになりませんからね。有村さんの言う
Animated
通
sounds
りよ。
right.
そのくらい
I know
分かってるよ
I'm just doing
俺
this
は
to protect
僕やみ
everyone.
んなの身を守るためにやってるんだ
ふーん。だった
I
ら
hope
いいんですけど。
And I was telling the truth. I had managed to turn back the pyrokinetic's flames at the last second. That was the only reason we survived. But that was just a fluke, born out of desperation. If she was going to come after me again, I needed to master my power. And that's why I decided to practice like this.
だけどさ、
But you know,
なんでだろうね。
it's weird. Suddenly, Serika frowned. She was fiddling with her Garofroggy strap, like she always did when she was thinking about something.
なんでだろうって
What's weird?
何がだ
相変わらずいきなり
You
ね、
know,
セリカ
Serika,
は。
you may be
あな
able
た
to
の
make
頭の
sense of
中
what
で
you're
は
saying
話が
inside
つ
your
な
own
がってる
head,
のかもし
but
れ
the
ない
rest
け
of
ど。
us can't.
うん、
Oh,
ごめん
sorry,
ごめん
sorry.
あ、
Well,
そのね、
Hina-chan can
ほ
tell
ら
if someone's
ひなち
telling
ゃ
the
ん
truth,
は相手
right?
の話が
And
嘘か
Taku can
本
move
当かわかるんで
objects.
しょ？で、タクは物が動かせる。人によって
I was just
使え
wondering
る
why
力に
everybody
違い
has
がある
different
のはなんで
powers.
かなって。
No. I never thought about that before. She had a point. Why did different people have different powers? Kunosato-san hadn't said anything about that.
つうか
And
さ、
another thing,
そもそも
when
その
did
能
you
力
get
自
this
体
power?
いつからお
Were
前
you
らに
born
備
with
わっ
it?
てたんだろうな。生まれつきか？
And that was another thing I'd been wondering about.
宮代、
What
お前
about
は
you,
どうなんだ？
Miyashiro?
少なくと
I
も
don't even
僕
know.
自身
I
はこ
didn't
こ
even
最近
know
ま
I
で
had this power
自
until a
分に
very
そんな
short
能
time
力がある
ago.
ことを自
So
覚してなかっ
honestly,
た
I don't know.
だから正直わからない
そんじゃあ、
And then what about
有
you,
村
Arimura?
私は
I think mine
多
came to
分
me
渋
after
谷
the
地震の
Shibuya
後ですか
earthquake.
ね。
After that,
あれ以
I
降、
suddenly
急
could
に
just
人
tell
の言
when
葉の
people
嘘
were
がわかるよう
lying.
になったっていうか。
Right after the Shibuya earthquake?
ってことは
Does that mean that the earthquake is involved somehow? Oh, buddy. You know absolutely nothing. I'd have to look into that eventually. Uh-huh.
あと、今の
As for
セリ
Sari's
の疑問、
question,
どうし
why
て人
people
によっ
have
て能
different
力が違う
powers.
のかって
I
話
have an
だけど、
idea about that.
それについてはなんとなく思ってることがあって。何
What is it?
多分、
I think it's because of a
願望
wish
なん
they
じゃない
made.
かなと。願望？
A wish?
そうです。
Yep. I had a
私
little
地震
itty
の時
bitty
にちょっ
thought
ぴり
during the
そう思う
earthquake,
ことがあり
and
ま
the
し
next
て
thing I knew, I was
で
like
気
this.
づいたらこんな感じになってたっていうか。そう思う
What
こ
do you
とって
think about?
やだな。
Oh, come
だ
on.
から本当
You
の
know,
ことか知り
I
たい
want
っ
to
て
know the
話。
truth.
言
To
わ
make
せ
me
な
spell
い
it
でよ
out,
恥ずか
it's
しい。
embarrassing.
いや別に照れると
No,
こじゃねえだ
that
ろ。
doesn't really sound embarrassing.
そもそも本当のことが知
What
り
do
たい
you
なんて
mean? He
一
wanted
体
to know
何
the
があったんだよ
truth. What happened?
やだ
Jeez, senpai. You're such a nosy pervert.
なんでそうなる
What?
そういうのは
Call it a maiden
いたいけ
secret.
な乙女の
So no more
秘密なんです
questions.
よ。
None.
だから聞いちゃダメ。ね。
Minari Mido was like this. I knew I wasn't going to get anything out of her. Yeah, respect her maiden secrets,
と
God.
にかく一旦
Anyway,
これまでの
well,
こ
let's
とを
go
整
over
理して
what's
みようか
happened so far.
ニュージェネの狂
All
気
the
の再
victims in
来
the
事件
return of the new gen
その
madness
被害者
cases
には
has
明らか
have
に共
one
通
thing
す
in
るポイントがあ
common.
ったよな。
言うと
You know
あれ
what
だ
that
ね
is, right?
そう
Yep.
前にも
Just
推
like I
測した
guessed
通り
before.
全
They
員
were all
何らかの能力
psychics.
者だということだ。最初の事
In
件
the first victim,
こっ
in
ち
the
みんな
Don't Look case.
被害者とその特徴は
Was able to get scoops with psychic powers? No. Was famous for being able to predict the future? Yes. Was said to be able to read clients' minds? No. Put those who heard her music into a trance? Also no. Yeah. In the Don't Look case, he was famous for being able to predict the future.
そう
Yes.
多分予知
He
能力
could
があったって
probably
こ
see
と
the
だ。
future.
次は音漏れだ。
Next, the audio bleed
被害者と
victim.
その特徴は
She put those who heard her music into a trance.
トランスって言
Trance?
うと
You mean like
歌を聴いた人の気
anybody
持
listening
ち
to
が
her felt
うわ
really
ーっ
good?
て気持ちよくなることかな。まあ
Yeah,
そんな
probably
ような
something
もの
like
ですか
that.
ね。
つまり
In other words,
相手の
she was
感情を
able to
歌で
control
誘
how
導でき
people
たって
felt
こ
with
と
her
だな。
music.
で僕たちが目撃
Next,
した
the victim in the
回転デッ
revolving
ド
dead case,
被
he
害者とその特徴は
was said to be able to read clients' minds.
多分カ
I
キタって
think this
人は
Kakita guy
テ
was
レ
a
パシーを持っていた
telepath.
んだ。
ええ、その
Yes,
通りで
that's right.
私に
that's
は
what he
そう言
told
ってました
そして
And as for the
学園祭で
victim
起
in
き
the
たごっつぁんで
Sumobili
す。
abuse case,
被害者とその特徴は
was able to get scoops with psychic powers.
そう
That's right.
渡部が
All
有
of
名になった
Watabe's
スクープ
famous
写真
scoops
は
were taken from
全
angles
て
and
ありえな
places
い
that
角
should
度
have
や
been
場所から撮
impossible
られ
to
ているものばか
photograph.
りだった。
He was probably using
多分
psychic
連写だったんだ
photography. Which still sounds crazy to me, but you know.
So
just like I said, don't you feel like all these powers have some kind of wish involved?
しませんか？
願望か。
Wish, huh?
こっちみんなの
Oh,
大谷
Tani.
は
The victim in the
Moto-moto
Don't Look case
Nikonia
was a
Dogo de
Nikonia
Namahoso
streamer
shite.
that was able to become famous, succeeded in business, became a popular vocalist, became a popular net reporter. You know, he was just able to become famous.
For
what Shinjo-san said about
新庄さんの
Takane...
話だと 確か
From what Shinjo-san said about Takayanagi, the girl in the audio bleed case, she became a popular vocalist. Kakita-san, from the revolving dead case.
僕たちはわからないな。
I don't know.
有村は
Arimura,
何か知っ
do
て
you
る
know
か？
anything?
そういう
He
話
didn't
はあんま
talk
り
about
し
it
ませんで
much.
した。
I guess there was a lot of
けど
backstabbing at
仕
his
事で
job.
いつも裏切りとか騙し合いとかあったみたいで。でも、
But
能
once he
力を
got
持
his
ってから
power,
はその
he
心
didn't have
配
to
もな
worry
くなっ
about
たっ
that
て。
anymore. Succeeded in business.
そしてごっ
And as
つぁ
for
んです渡部
Watabe,
か。
from the Sumobili abuse case, become a popular net reporter.
なるほどな。
I see.
こうして
Looking
見
at
る
it
と
like this,
確か
you
に
may be
有村
right.
の言う通りかもしれない。
つまり
In other
願
words,
望がそ
other
の
wishes
人
had
の
an
能
effect
力
on
に
their
影響してる
powers?
っていうことね。
ってことは
Does that mean that your
宮
power
代の
comes
そ
from a
の能
wish
力
too,
も
Miyashiro?
なんかの願望が現れてるってことか？
手を触れずに
Have you ever
物を
wanted
動
to
かせ
be
た
able
ら
to move things without touching them,
そ
senpai?
んな風に考えたことあるんですか、先輩。
いや
No,
僕は
I couldn't think of any reason why I'd want that power.
あ、
Oh,
あれじゃない
I think I know.
タク。ほ
Taku,
ら、あの
remember
時
after the earthquake?
タクって
When you were in a
地震の
coma
後
for so long?
ずっと寝込んでたじゃない？
Oh,
そういえば
come to think of it,
あの頃
you
の
had a
タクル
really
は
hard time
歩
even
くのも
walking
大変だ
back
ったか
then.
ら。
Just like Kurisu said, I'd been badly injured during the earthquake. Even after I'd finally woken up from my coma, just walking was incredibly painful. It was bad enough that it would take tens of minutes just for me to grab something a few feet away. I'd hated that, and I'd wished 1,000 times that the thing I was trying to get would just come to me.
それじゃあ
And
あれが
then
僕
and
の
that's where
能
my
力
power
に影
came
響してい
from.
るっていうことなのか。
なるほ
It
どな。
makes sense. We could assume your
願望
theory
が能
that
力に現れ
yeah,
る
we
説
could assume your
っての
theory
は
that these
ほ
powers
ぼ
came
正
from
解と
wishes is
考え
right
て良さそう
then.
だな。
それじゃああ
And
の
then that
女
woman,
僕
the
た
one
ち
who
を襲ったあ
attacked
の女の
us,
能力も
her power
何ら
comes
かの
from
願
some
望っ
wish
てこと
too.
になるのか。
何かを燃
Does
や
she want
し
to
たい
burn
と思
something?
ったってこと？
そこまで思い
Because
詰
she
める
wants
ほ
to
ど燃
burn
やし
so
たいものって
badly.
なんだろう。
お芋とか？
Maybe she wanted to roast yams? Sarika,
冗談言ってる場
is
合
this
か
really
よ
a。time to be telling jokes?
いえ、先
No,
輩。
senpai.
セリは
Sari
本気で
seriously
そう思っ
believes
てま
that.
す。
Sarika,
マジか。
seriously.
お？
Huh?
なんかおかし
Did
な
I
こと
say
言った？
something weird? Yes. Yes, you did, Sarika.
まあいい。
Well,
あの
whatever.
女がどう
We
して
can worry
パイロ
about
キ
why
ネ
she
シスを
became
持
a
つようになったか
pyrokinetic another
今は置い
time.
とこう。もう一つ
And there's one other
あの女につい
problem
て
we have
考
to
えたい
think
ことが
about with her.
大事なこと
Something
なんだ。
important. I looked at the faces of everyone in the room.
あいつが
Whether
これ
she's
までの
behind all
猟
the
奇殺
murders
人
so
事件の
far.
犯人かどうかってことだ。
She had clearly been trying to kill us. But that didn't mean that she was behind all the murders. I looked back at the board.
カズキ、
Kazuki,
例のもの
got the thing I asked for. Loki, you want Sari's yam the hypothesis to be correct? I mean, not an impossibility. Kinda depends, I guess. I took the image that I asked Kazuki to print out for me.
ニュージェネの狂気の再
Nobody's
来
been
の話題
talking
で埋
about
も
it
れてし
because
まっ
of
て
the
るけど
return of the new gen
ここ最
madness.
近
But there's been
渋谷
a
で連続
string
放
of
火事件
recent
が起き
arson
てる。
cases at Shibuya. Everyone seemed to already know about this. They nodded.
それが起こ
I'm
った
going to
場所と
compare the arson sites
こ
to
れ
the
までの事
locations
件
of the
の場所を
murders
比
so
較してみよ
far.
うと思うんだ。まず最初の事件
First, here's where the
こっ
Dunlop
ち見んな。
case took place.
現場はここ。それに
And
連
here's
続
where the
放火事件の
arsons
現場
were.
を重ねる。
It's pretty close.
わあ、すごいね。
Wow.
だろ。
I know, right?
次は第二の事件。
Next, the audio
音漏
bleed
れだ。
case. It was here.
現場はここだ。ここに連続
Now
放
we
火事
overlay
件
the
の現場を
locations of
重ね
the
る
arson
と
fires. Shocking.
おい
Oh,
おい。
wait. Are you
マジ
serious?
か。
そして第三の
And
事
then
件。
the Love Hotel where
回転デ
revolving
ッド
dead
が発生したラブ
happened.
ホテル。このラブホテルの
And there
周
was
りで
also
も
suspicious
不審火
fires
が異
set
常に
around
発
the
生して
Love
る。
Hotel.
確かに集
They're
中
all
してるわね。
concentrated in the same general area. Yeah,
そうなんだ。
that's right.
そして第四の事件。
As you all know,
ごっ
this
さんです
morbidly
が
obese case
みん
took
なも
place
知って
at
る
our
通り
school.
この学園で起こった。そして
And then,
そ
when
れ
you
に連
overlay the
続放火事
locations
件の
of the
現場を重ね
fires,
てみると
oh
なんか
And that's
すごい
kind
で
of
すね。
incredible,
だろ
right?
マ
You
ッ
could
プ
get a
全体を
better
見ても
feel
らえ
for it by
ばもっと
looking
よ
at
く
a
わか
whole
る。
map. It's kind of crazy, actually.
最初に
I
これ
was
に気づい
surprised
た
too
時は
when I first
僕も
noticed
驚い
it.
たよ。で、
And
俺らの
in
デ
light
ータ
of
から
all
考えると
this,
ニュージェネの狂気
you
の
can
再来
assume
事
that
件と
there's some
不審火
connection
との間
between
に
the
は
murders and the arson
なんか
cases,
関
huh?
係があるかもしれないってことか。
あ
Yeah.
あ、この通り
It's too much of a
偶
match
然に
to
して
be a
はあまりにも場所が
coincidence.
一致しすぎてる。
The woman has some
あの
connection
女
to
と
the
の因果関係を
murders.
疑っていいんじゃないかと思う。
When I finished, Sarika said, "Wow, you're amazing, Taku." But everyone else seemed lost in thought.
何か異論でもあるか。
Any objections? Yes, I do have one. That is all.
異論とまではいかない
I
けど、
wouldn't call it an objection,
ちょっといいかし
but
ら。
can I say something? Kurisu raised her head. Yeah,
何でも
go
言ってくれ。
ahead.
ね。
Well, she stood up in such a way as to not put pressure on her injury, and then moved in front of the board.
再確認
I
なんだ
want
け
to
れ
check
ど、
something.
タクル
The
たちを
woman who
襲った
attacked
女の
you,
人の能
her
力って
power
いうのは、
was pyrokinetic.
そう、
Yes, her power lets her control fire, right?
ああ、
Yeah. Power of women who attacked Takuryun, pyrokinetic equals serial killer.
でも、これまで
But
の
none of
殺
the
人事
murders
件
so
で
far
は、
have
炎
involved
なんて
fire,
一回も使わ
have
れてい
they?
ないじゃない。最初
what
が
was the
こっ
first
ち
one?
みんなだっけ？
Don't look.
次がお
And
友
next
達
was Audio Bleed.
そして
And then
回
Revolving
転ベッ
Dead.
ド。この学園で起
And
こっ
then
た
the
の
one that
は
happened at the
ごっ
school
つぁんで
was
すね。
morbidly
殺
obese.
人事件にこん
It's
な
so
名前をつける
disgusting
な
to
んて
give names like
いい
that
し
to
な。
murders.
ほら見て。
Look, none
ど
of
れ
them
も炎
involve
なんて出てこ
fire.
ないでしょ。あれれ？
Huh?
確かに
You're
そうだ
right.
ね。
Kurisu had caught on to one of the weak points in my argument. I thought that was strange too. None of the murders had involved fire. Which meant that we had very little evidence to suggest that she was the killer.
な
Hey,
こういうのはどう
how
だ？
about this?
ハッカー
Maybe the
女は
fire woman was
自分
testing
の
her
能力を
powers or
試して
something.
いたとか。
試す？
Testing?
あ
Yeah.
あ、ハッカー能力を
Maybe
身につ
she
けるまで
really didn't
自
know
分で
what her
自分の
power
能力
was
が
at
よく分か
first.
っていなく
So
て
she
さ、
started testing
いろんな
different
ことを
things.
試してたんだ。
That could be why each
それ
murder
で
is
殺害方
different.
法にいくつものパターンがあった。
Pyrokinetic was using killings to test her powers.
なる
Oh, I see. You're smart,
しんちゃん
Shin-chan. Surika was impressed, but
でも、そ
but
れってちょ
isn't
っ
that
と無
kind
理
of
ない
hard
です
to
か？
believe? Arimita said it before I could.
そうか。
Is it?
いくらなんでも
It just seems
強
like
引す
too
ぎる
much
か
of a
なって
stretch, I think.
私もそう
I
思う
think
け
so
ど。
too.
そう
I
か。
see. Everyone fell silent. We'd only just started, but there was still too much we didn't know.
あの女が犯人
She really is the killer. Then why didn't she use her fire? And why did she kill them like that?
なぜあんな殺し方ができたのか。いや、
No, wait. I suddenly got an idea.
なあ、有村。
Hey, Arimita,
ちょっと聞
I've
きた
got
い
a
んだけど。
question.
なんです？
What is it?
お前結構
You were hanging out with
国里さんと一緒にいたよな
Kunosato-san a lot, right?
きで一緒にいたわけじゃないですけどね。
Arimita's disgust was plain to see on her face. She must have really hated Kunosato-san.
久野里さんは
And she's doing
能力に
research
つい
into
て研
psychic
究してるんだ
powers, right?
何
Did
か
she
言って
say
なかった
anything
か
about the number of
ギガ
powers
ロ
a
マニアックスが持
Gigomaniac
て
can
る能
have?
力の数とか。
数
The number?
ですか？
ああ、
Yeah.
今まで気
I've
づか
never
なかった
really
けど
thought about it.
能力者
Was
は
there a rule that a
一人で
psychic
一
can
つの
only
能
have
力
one
しか持つこ
power?
とができないとか決まってるんだろうか。
さあ、
Hmm,
どうなん
I
で
don't
しょう。
know.
で
I
も
can
確
tell you
か
that
にそんな制
Kunosato-san
限、久野
never
里さんから
talked
聞いた
about
こ
it
とは
though.
ないですね。
リアルブートの
And
理
the
屈
way
から
real
考えれ
booting
ば
works is
妄
that,
想
in
さえうま
theory,
くコン
as
トロー
long
ル
as
で
you
きれ
can
ば
control the
ど
delusion
んな能力だ
properly,
って使え
you
ると
can
思
use
う。
any power you want.
つまり
In other
一
words,
人で複数
it's
の能
possible
力
for
を
a
持つこと
person to
が
have
可能な
multiple
んじゃないかってこと
powers.
なんだけど。
Possible multiple powers? Ito put his hand on his chin and lapsed into thought.
宮代たちを
So the
襲った
woman who
女は
attacked you two
単な
wasn't
る
just
パイ
a
ロキネシストじゃないっ
pyrokinetic?
てことか。
あくまでも
It's just
可
a
能性の一
possibility,
つだけど
but what do you think?
どうだろう。
まだ決定
That's
的とは
hardly
言えないわ
conclusive.
ね。
だったらさ、
And then maybe she
犯
has
人
a
の女に
helper
は
who
別
has a
の能
different
力を持っ
power?
た仲間がいるという可能性もあるんじゃないか。
仲
A
間
helper? No,
あ
I
あ、
get
そっ
it.
か。
So there's more than one
複数
person
犯ってことだ。
involved. That was one of my first thoughts. Like, if she is just like pyrokinesis, nothing else, she could just be an accessory to the murders. Because, like, there's no way she's not involved because of the placing of the arsons, you know? Multiple people, including pyrokinetic.
それとあとは
Or,
最初に
this
戻っ
takes
て
us
しまう
back
け
to
ど
the start.
パ
But
イロ
maybe
キネ
the
シストは事件
pyrokinetic
と
isn't
無関
involved
係
in
で
the murders,
犯人は
and the
全
real
く別
killer
の
is
誰
someone
か
else
と
entirely.
いう可能性。
Killer is another psychic.
その場合、
In that
タクル
case,
たちが
the
襲われ
attack
た
on
事
you
件
is
と
completely
これま
unrelated
で
to
の
the
連続殺
murders,
人事件
right?
は別のものだと考えるってことね。
Yeah. There were too many possibilities to really know what was going on.
ね
Hey,
え、とりあえず
why don't we
こ
put
の
this
件は保
aside
留
for
にしな
now?
い？
We're probably not going to
多分
get
結論は出ないわ。
anywhere for now.
そうだな。
Alright.
とりあえ
Let's
ず
leave
今は
it
こ
for
のまま
now.
置いとこう。
宮代とアリ
You
ーナ
told
は
the
警
police
察に
about the
話し
woman
たん
who
だよな。
attacked you, right?
お前らを襲った女のこと、
はい。
Yes.
警察から何か情
And
報
did they
はな
tell
い
you
のか。
anything? The night we were attacked, we contacted Shinjo-san and told him what had happened, along with a description of our attacker. Adamita had said she'd helped draw a composite sketch too. The police had decided to look for her as a suspect in the arson case. If they could find her, they'd arrest her for that. Once they had her in custody, then they could find out if she was responsible for the murders.
何か分かったら
He
連
said
絡を
he'd
くれる
call
は
us
ず
if
なん
he
だけど
found something,
特に
but I
何も
haven't
ない
heard anything.
女の
I
特
don't
定に
think they
至ってない
found
んだと
out
思
who
う。
she is.
そっか。
I see. Then there's
じゃあ
nothing else we can
女
assume
に
about
関す
her
る
for
推理
now.
は今のところここまでしかできないな。
だと思う。
I think so. My throat was dry from all the talking, so I looked inside my bag. Good old Mountain View. And of course, I brought a Mountain View. I should have gotten a Mountain Dew when I went out with the Skullabloke in between streams. Oh well, Red Bull's close enough, right? I opened it and took a big gulp. Everyone else grabbed a drink of their own and took a moment to relax.
あと、もう
Oh,
いくつか
and there's a
俺
few
が
other
気になっ
things
て
I've
るこ
been
とを言ってもい
wondering
いか。
about. Can we talk about them too?
うん。頼む
Sure. Let's do it.
まず一つ目な。
First,
被害者は
all the
全
victims
員
were
能力
psychics,
者だよ
right?
な。
How did the killer
犯
find
人
that
はどうや
out?
ってターゲットの能力者を見つけてるんだ。
Yuna's question was a good one, and one I knew I'd known was coming. Hydrate? Okay. More Red Bull for me. And I've got an idea about that. I think the killer's using the sumo stickers to track down their victims. And the sumo stickers? More precisely, the 11th Rorschach test. I remember what we saw in the basement of AH Tokyo General. Any psychic who sees that sticker has a very strong reaction to it. Arimiri and I have both experienced that for ourselves. Just remembering it makes me feel a little sick. Arimira closed her eyes and put her hand over her mouth. She must have felt like she was going to throw up. Are you okay, Arimira-san? Yeah, sorry. Keep going, Miyashiro-senpai. Okay. And Onoe saw this in the basement of the hospital. But they had cameras all over town, watching the stickers. They were finding people who had the potential to become psychics, to experiment on them underground. And I could see Kurisu's expression cloud over. She probably remembered her friend, Minamisawa Senri, who had been a test subject down there. It hurt to see her like that, but I decided that I had no choice but to stay on the subject. So I think the killer might have come from there. If she knew the secret of the stickers, it would be easy to find psychics, right? She just had to look for people who had a bad reaction when they saw it. For one thing, that woman attacked us when she saw us panicking over the stickers. So, the killer using the camera down there? There's no way. We need a card key to get in. And that place is basically abandoned, right? Nobody was there watching the stickers, and nobody was doing any experiments. No, even without the facility, they could watch the stickers. Kurisu nodded as if she understood. I know what Takeru means. They didn't have to watch via the cameras. They could just stand near the stickers and go after anyone who reacted like Takeru and Arimira-san did. That's right. I think the pyrokinetic was waiting near the stickers too, like a spider waiting for something to wander into its web. And then Arimira and I happened to pass by. It would take a long time though. It's not impossible. But... Wait, we won't get any further debating that. Let's go on to the next point. We keep leaving questions unanswered. Is that okay? You don't have a choice. Our goal right now needs to be to get as many questions out there as we can. Ito-kun, is there anything else that's bothering you? Yeah, 2 more things. Ito asked his 2 remaining questions. Summed up, this is what they were. I feel like it would have been easier just to have him ask the questions instead of summing it up, but okay. Why are the murders taking place on the same day as the new gen incidents? And what's the motive behind them? It's like the whole point of this is to attract a lot of attention. Yeah. Everything, from the dates to the ways the murders were committed, was chosen to be as sensational as possible. Was it just to attract attention? Or was it a message meant for a specific person? Could be. When's the next murder? It could be finger food. Or no, finger food was 10/28. And we're already in November in game, right? Or no. Okay, so morbidly abused. It's 10/10, and they were attacked like the few days after that, so yeah. As far as I can tell from the map, the next one is 10/28.
それが犯行動機なんですかね。
The motive?
私知って
I
るよ。
know, like a serial killer,
言う
right?
んだよね。そういうの。
Sarika.
劇場型犯
They
罪とも
sometimes
言う
call
よな
those types organized killers.
もしこの先も
If their murders
ニュージェネ
continue
事
to
件と
follow
同
the
じ日
dates of
付に
New
犯
Gen
行が行われ
Madness,
るなら
the next one will be the same
次
day
は
as
ノータリン
Numbskull,
事件と同じ日
October 23rd.
10月23日ってことになるけど
Okay, so there was that one that was off screen, but I'm pretty sure after that is finger food. Which also meant nothing was going to happen until then.
なるほど
I see.
だから
So
か
that's why. Ito suddenly snapped his fingers, as if he reached some great conclusion.
お前と有村
The
さ
two of you were attacked by
パ
the
イロキネシストに
pyrokinetic.
襲われ
On
た
the
けど
end, she didn't kill
結
you.
局女は宮代たちを殺さなかった
ああ
Yeah.
それって要す
Maybe
る
that's
に
because it wasn't the right
殺
day
す日じゃ
yet.
なかったってことじゃないかな
殺す日じゃ
The
な
right
かった
day. Did that mean it wasn't my power that saved us? No, but it had really felt like she was going to kill us. The more I thought about it, the more confused I felt.
それじゃ
Alright,
あ、私はそ
I'm
ろそ
going
ろ
to head
生
to
徒
the
会の
student
方へ行くけ
council,
ど、
but
くれぐれも
promising you won't do
私のい
anything
ないところ
dangerous
で危
while
険
I'm
な
not
ことは
around,
しちゃダメよ。
okay?
約束してくれるわね。
Okay, so we can do things that are dangerous with you around. Got it.
そんな
You
何
don't
回も
need to
念
keep
をしなくて
saying
も分か
that.
ってる
I
よ
know.
本当
Are you
ね。
sure about that? Yeah. It had been a while since Kurisu had glared at me like that. Now that the Empress was back, she was scary.
ああ、そうそう。
Oh, right.
それから
And
タクル、
Takaru.
あなた、
Kurisu got up close and whispered to me,
今夜から
Come back to
青
Alba
葉寮に
dorm
帰ってきなさ
tonight.
い。
え
Huh?
狙われているのかもしれ
Someone
ないで
might
し
be
ょ。
after you, right?
今の場
It's
所に一
dangerous
人
to
で
be
いて
by
は危険
yourself.
よ。ずっととは言わな
It
い
doesn't
わ。
have to be
しばら
forever.
くで構わない。
It can just be for a
事
little
件が解
while.
決するまで
Live at home
うちで
until
暮ら
this
しな
is
さい。
resolved.
いやで
No,
もさ
but
ダメ。
no
問
complaints.
答無用
If。you don't come back,
もし帰
I'll
ってこ
come
な
and
かった
get you.
らこっちから連れに行くからね。それじゃ。
Hey,
ちょっとま
wait. Before I could say anything else, she ran off to the student council room.
生徒会長
You're
の
the
くせに
student
廊下を
council
走っちゃ
president.
ダメ
You
よ
shouldn't be running in the hallways.
副部長、なんだ
What
っ
did
け
the vice president say?
あいや別に
No, nothing.
こっちの
Some
話だよ
personal stuff. She wanted me to go back to the dorm. Always has. What should I do? There's no real need to listen to her, but knowing pretty soon, she might really come barging into my RV. I mean,
しかしな
there's so much we don't
わかんねえ
understand.
ことばっかだったな
そうです
You
ね。
said it.
なんか
My
頭
head's
痛く
starting
な
to
ってきちゃっ
hurt.
たよ。
Right, Taku?
ねえ、タク。タク
Taku?
Eh?
Huh,
Ah,
yeah,
so
you're
da.
right. We hadn't really learned anything today. We had no proof, just a bunch of guesses.
な
Hey,
久
why
野
don't we
里
talk
さん
to
に相談してみるってのはどう
Kunosata-san?
だ
久野里さん
Kunosata-san, huh?
ほら
She might know a lot that we
彼女なら俺たちの知らないこと
don't, right?
いろいろ知ってるんじゃねえのかなって
あ
No,
あ、
that's
それは
probably
や
a
めとい
bad
た方がいい
idea.
っすよ。
I didn't mean to shut down his idea.
なんで？
How come?
あれ
Didn't I
言ってま
tell
せん
you?
でしたっけ？
She doesn't think
あ
of
の
us
人
as
ってば
human.
私たちのこと人間だと思ってませんから。伊藤先輩
She
だっ
was
て
really
あ
mean
の
to you
人に
too,
ひどい
wasn't
態度
she?
取られてたじゃ
Or
ない
do
です
you
か。
just get off
それ
on
とも
that?
そういうの
I could be
喜ん
like
じゃ
that
う
too
系と
if you
か？
want.
だったら私もそうしてあげますけど。
Tina, eh?
だから。
I'm really
俺は
not
そういう
into
趣味や
that.
ねえって
Don't say
の
the same thing
宮
Miyashiro
下と同じこ
did.
と言うな。
Artemida had gotten the same idea about Hito that I had. I laughed a little. And then Artemida turned to us with a smile and continued.
別に
I'm
冗
not
談じゃないん
kidding.
ですけど
I
ね。
could tell when people are lying,
私、
right?
人の言ってることが本当かどうかわかるんですよ。
Oh boy, he's cornered.
久野里さん、
Kanasato says a lot of mean things to us, but she's not joking.
本気
She
で
really
私たちが
hopes
死
we
ねば
die.
いいと思ってますから。
Damn.
Eh?
Huh? That was a surprise. Did she really hate us that much? What did we do? Animita continued on in the same chipper tone a girl might use to discuss after-school plans with a friend.
あの人の目には
She only sees us as insects she can experiment on. Are you okay with being treated like an insect,
害虫と同じ
Ito-senpai?
扱いでいいんですか、伊藤先輩。
After the meeting of the newspaper club ended, I bought a Mountain View at the vending machine in the cafeteria and sat down on a nearby bench. I've been thinking so much that I was exhausted. That's a fucking mood. I opened the plastic bottle and gulped down the bubbling carbonation inside. You're drinking that stuff again? I really do seem to like it. He's very normal about his Mountain View. Ito bought a can of black coffee and sat down on the bench with me. You know, that really surprised me back there. Huh?
お前の能
The
力だよ。
power.
ま、
Well,
僕
I'm
自身
so
もまだ
surprised
驚いてるけど
myself.
な。
とにかく感
I
心
was
したって
really
いうか、
impressed. It was pretty
普
cool.
通にかっこよかったぜ。
やめろって。
Stop it. I
男
don't
に言わ
expect
れて
you
も
want to hear
一
that
つも
from
嬉しく
another
ない。
guy. And that's something the heroine says to the male lead in a romantic comedy. Oh, buddy, you're not a romantic comedy. You're in a psychological horror. And then the hero falls in love with them. Maybe. No.
いや、
No way.
それもないな。
A series of faces flitted through my mind. Serika with her dopey laugh, the ever-angry Kurisu, Kazuki playing ESO2, and Artemida with her acid tongue. But I couldn't imagine starting a romance with any of them.
なんだ
Oh,
よ。
come
せっかく
on.
褒めてや
I
っ
was
た
just
の
saying
に。
something nice to you. Hup. Ito threw the empty can at the garbage bin.
あ、惜しい。
Nah, that's a good one.
全然惜しくないだろ。
I've seen a preschooler do better. The garbage can had a lid, and only a small hole to throw the cans in. Of course, there was no way he could get it inside.
なあなあ、
Hey,
またやっ
can
て
you
み
do
せ
it
てくれな
again?
いか？
何を？
Do what again?
だか
The
ら、
power
能
to
力
it.
だよ。
Ito looked around the cafeteria as he spoke, making sure no one was too close to overhear him.
え？
What? Was this why he'd thrown the can? Oh boy, delusion trigger time. Fortunately, it was after school, and the cafeteria was just about to close, so there weren't many people in the room. Oh, is there just not a negative delusion for this? Oh, there might just not be a negative delusion for this. Yeah, it doesn't look like there is a negative delusion. It's just the positive or irregular. Because we still get a delusion. I don't... Huh. That was never a thing that Chaos had. But it does make me concerned if maybe there's supposed to be a negative delusion, it's not showing up. There might really not be a negative delusion then. Time to Google it. Yeah, I'm not finding any information about there not being a negative delusion here. Oh well, I guess I'll just do regular because I'm not touching the positive ones for now. There were only a few groups of people who were probably chatting about nothing important, and a few boys and girls intently reading their books. Nobody was paying attention to us. I didn't think anyone would see me and make a fuss, but...
お前ってど
So,
のくらいの
how
も
does
の
your
が動
power
かせるん
work
だ
exactly?
重
Is
さ
there
と
a
か大
limit
きさ
on
と
how
か
much weight,
数
how
と
big an
か
object, or how many things you can move?
そ
I
の
haven't
辺はまだ
tested
テス
that
トしてない
yet.
な。
じゃあ
Then, can you
狙い
aim
は正確なのか
precisely? Do you
タ
ever
ーゲッ
move
ト以外
things
のも
other
のが
than
動い
what
ちゃ
you
ったり
need
しない
to?
のか
それも
I haven't tested that yet either. He had a good point. It would be a good idea to test those things out. What should I do? No, now wasn't a good time. I still wasn't used to it, and I was already exhausted. The idea of trying to focus even more didn't appeal to me.
今日はダメだ。
I'm
ま
not
た
feeling
今
up
度に
to
しよ
it
う。
today. We can do it some other time. I leaned back on the bench and swallowed my Mountain View.
なんだ
Aw,
よ
don't be such a
ケチだな
stingy asshole.
ケチとかそういう問
Seriously,
題じゃない
I'm
んだ
not
って。
trying to be stingy or anything. But it did seem like I need to test the limits of my power eventually, like Ito had said. I tossed the bottle of Mountain View into the garbage, just like Ito had done a moment ago. Of course, it didn't even come close. It fell on the floor and started to roll. October 15th, 2015, Thursday. It does seem interesting that, like, if you don't select a delusion trigger, just you don't have a delusion at all, at least based off of that one. Because for Chaos Head, if you didn't, pick one, you still got a delusion, it just was neutral. The medical examiner system. Our first tip of the night. The system allows for an examination, or in some cases, an autopsy to determine the cause of death in accidents, or when a person has died from disease or an unknown cause. The work of the medical examiner is done as follows. In the event of an unusual death, the forensic officer first conducts an examination, which is followed by a death investigation from the medical examiner. If the cause of death can be determined, the body is then turned over to the family. If the death investigation fails to determine the cause of death, only then does the examiner conduct an autopsy. And if it is judged that a crime was involved, a further more expansive judicial autopsy is conducted. But such an autopsy had already been performed on Watabe Tomoaki. It was extremely unusual for a second autopsy, like this one, to be performed.
どうだ
Well, Shinjo averted his eyes from the coroner's knife. He'd been to many judicial autopsies, but it was something he'd never gotten used to. He probably never would, he thought. As for the person standing next to the coroner, she was staring at the open skull without the slightest trace of disgust.
やはり
As I
肥
suspected,
大化の傾
I'm
向が
seeing
見られる
signs of enlargement.
肥大化
Enlargement
という
of the
と
brain.
脳が
この状況って
What
他に
else?
何があ
Did
る
you think I could look at his skull and tell you if his
解凍された
internal
頭を見て
organs had enlarged?
内臓の肥大がわかるとでも言うのか
Maybe. Shinjo's shoulders slumped a little. When he first met her, he'd been unsure of how to handle her, but now he actually felt kind of worried for her. Didn't that get tiring after a while?
さっき聞いた
From what
話
you
や
said before,
死因は
the
間
cause
違
of
いな
death
く窒
was
息死と
definitely
いうことだった
suffocation.
な
窒息だけで
Suffocation alone
こんな
wouldn't
風
be
にはな
enough
ら
to
ない
do this to you.
ってことは
Which means
これまでの
almost
被
the
害
same
者
as
と
the
同
other
じってわ
victims,
け
huh?
か
Any
脳の
ideas
肥
to
大
the
の原因につい
cause?
ては
何しろ検
We
体が
just
少
don't
な
have
すぎる
enough samples. The symptom could be
果たして
something
この症
unique
状
to
が
the victims,
一連
or
の被
something
害者
all
だけに見られるの
gigalomaniacs
か
have in common.
それともギガロマニアックスに共通するものなのか
わからない
So you
か。
don't know.
知る方法な
And
ら
there's a way to find out,
あるに
though.
はあるがな
何？
What?
あの二
We
人
can open up the skulls of Miyashiro Takuru
Miyashiro
and
Takuru
Arimura
と
Hinae.
有村ひな
They'll
の
tell us
頭を
whether or
開い
not
て
it's
調
something
べれ
that
ば
all
いい
gigalomaniacs have in common.
そうすればこれがギガロマニアックスに共通する症状なのかどうかわかるだろう
バカな
Don't
こ
be
とを言うなよ。
stupid. We can't
そんな
do
ことで
that.
きるわけがないだろ
冗談だ
Joking.
今は
They say she
CT や
got CRT
MRI がある
and
んだ
MRI scans.
わざわ
There's
ざ
no need
脳
to
を
chop
むき出しに
open
す
their
る必要も
skulls.
ない
Hmm.
う。
なんだ
What? Is it so
私が
surprising
冗
that I
談を
would
言うの
tell
は
a
そんなに
joke?
意外か
I mean, the problem is I'm not convinced that it was a joke, and you're saying that it was a joke to cover that up.
いや、
No. Yes, actually. And Shijo thought to himself that she probably hadn't been joking. That's what I was saying. He knew Kunosato Mio didn't like gigalomaniacs. She hated them from the bottom of her heart. He didn't know why she despised them so much. And of course, there was probably a good reason for it, but he wished she would tone it down a bit. They probably didn't become gigalomaniacs by choice, and more than anything, he didn't want to lose their help with the case.
さて、
So,
これからどう
what's the
操
plan
作
for
し
the
ていったらいいんだろう
investigation now?
な。
There were still test subjects under the hospital. There were things the police could do. But when he'd gone down there, there wasn't a trace of anything left.
証拠なら
We've got evidence if we
Aru
need it, though, right? Kunosato's voice was as cold as ever.
証拠？
Evidence?
何のためにあ
Why
の
do you
娘を
think
連
I
れ出した
brought
と
that
思ってる
girl
ん
out
だ
of there? Make her
知
tell
って
you
ることを
everything she
全部吐か
knows.
せろ
おいおい。
Come on, she's
相
just
手
a
は子
kid.
供だぞ。
子供じゃない
She's not just a kid.
危険
She's
な
a
ギガロマ
dangerous
ニアックスだ
gigalomaniac. I agree. Shinjo rubbed his temples, unsure of what to say. Fair. October 15th, 2015, Thursday. Understandable, have a nice day. Phrygia Credit Bureau. Momose Katsuko sat in a reception room in a messy corner of her office and sighed as she ran her hand through her hair. Please, let me go home. She looks so sad. Like, come on. Let her go home already. Please, let me go home. No matter how many questions Momose asked her, or how she tried to get Yuki to talk, that was the only answer she would give. Yeah, take her fucking home. Sheesh, you fucking kidnappers. Sometimes she tried asking if there was anything she wanted, or if she felt like eating anything. But the answer was always the same. Please, let me go home. She hadn't made even the tiniest bit of progress since the girl had arrived. Even the endlessly patient Momose would want to sigh after all that. She still didn't know where this Yamazawa Yuki girl was from, or how she'd ended up in that hospital. But from what she'd seen, there was a chance she'd endured significant abuse. And then she was suddenly rescued from it, and taken to a completely different environment, so she must have been very confused. She knew from experience that victims like that needed to be treated very carefully. If I don't get back quickly, everyone will have trouble. She kept repeating the same lines, like a broken audio player. Momose was starting to think it was time for a different approach. She didn't know what would happen if she told the girl this, so she kept it a secret until now.
ちゃんと話して
But maybe I need to
現実
tell
を
her
認識させ
and
て
make
あ
her
げた方が
face
いいかもしれ
reality.
ない。
お願いです。
Please, I need to
私
go
は
back
あ
there.
そこへ戻らないといけないんです。
しょうがない。
I guess I don't have a choice.
話してみよう
I'll
か。
try telling her. Well, she made a decision. She didn't spend any time on second thoughts. This is both an advantage and a disadvantage.
あのね、ウキちゃん。
Listen, Huki-chan.
はい。
Yes.
そこまで帰りたい
If
とい
you
う
really
の
want to
な
go
ら
back that
教えてあ
badly,
げるわ。
I can tell you something. Huh?
返してく
You're
れ
letting
る
me
ん
go
ですね。
back?
ありがとう
Thank you.
ございます。
聞いて。
Listen to
あ
me.
なたがどれ
No
だけ
matter
帰り
how
たい
much
と
you
望ん
want
で
to
も
go back,
もう無
it's
理なんですよ。
impossible now.
無理。
Impossible?
だって
Because
あ
the
なたがい
place you were
たあの
in,
場所、
that place under the hospital,
病院の地下にあったあの場
it's
所は
gone now.
もうなくなってしまった。
Momose was relieved to finally see shock on Yuki's face.
よかった。
Good.
この子に
She does have
ちゃん
normal
と普通の感情
feelings.
がある。
Like Kunasato had said, they hadn't done any operations on her that would destroy her ability to experience emotions.
この前ね、
Right after you
あ
came
なたが
here,
ここへ
that
来てからす
detective,
ぐに
you
刑
know,
事、
the young
あ
one
の
who looks tired
若い
all the
くせに
time,
くたびれた
he said
刑
he
事
went
いた
to
でし
that
ょ。
hospital.
彼が例の病院へ行ってみたんですって。
The girl simply listened to Momose speak, her eyes wide. Momose kept talking, watching her carefully.
それでね、
And he went to the autopsy room, was it?
から
And then to the
地下へ行った
basement
そう
where
よ。
you were.
あなたのいた場所へね。でもね、
But he said that there was nothing
そこには
there.
何
While
も
the
な
room you
か
were
った。
in was empty.
あなたが
But then, where did everyone go?
あそこ
What
にいた
about all the people there?
いなかったそう
He
よ。
said there was no one
誰
there.
も。
誰も。
No one? Yuki seemed to be trying her best to understand what Momose just said. And then,
嘘。
you're lying.
嘘。
You're lying.
嘘です。
You're lying.
そんな嘘ついて
Why
何
would
に
I
なる
lie? It's the truth.
本当のことよ。
But
だって、
then
それじゃ
what do I
私
do?
はどうすれば。私は
What do I do? Tears started to silently fall from Uki's eyes. I spy with my little eye a rice cooker. Anyways.
ははどう
What's
した
wrong,
タク
Takaru? You look so
顔しやが
glum.
って
顔は
I
生ま
was
れつ
born
きだよ
looking。this way.
は
Come on.
なんだ
Can you say something more
もう少し
fun?
面白いこと言ったらどうなんだあ
Dad was as jovial as ever. Without his lab coat, no one would ever believe he was a doctor.
どうだ
Mel,
Huh?
hmm? I bet
や
it
っ
feels
ぱ
good
自
to
分
be
の
back
家が
home
一番
again,
落ち
right?
着くだろ
別にそう
Not
でもない。
really.
うま
Well,
一人暮
you
ら
just
し
started
を始め
living
た
on
ば
your
っかじ
own,
ゃ
so maybe you don't
まだ
realize
そうは
it
思い
yet.
か
But eventually,
でも
you
な
come to know that
い
home is
ずれ
where
分
the
かる
heart
時が来
is.
るもんだ我が家が一番ってな
In the end, I'd come back here to Alba dorm. Because Kurisu had told me to do so at school.
狙われているのかもし
Someone
れない
might
で
be
しょ
after you, right?
今の場
It's
所に
dangerous
一
to
人
be
でいて
by
も危険よ
yourself.
ずっととは言わない
It
わ
doesn't have to be
しばらく
forever.
で構わない
It can just be
事件
for a
が解
little
決するま
while.
でうち
Live
で
at
暮ら
home
しな
until
さい
this is resolved. And I wasn't her slave or anything, but just like she said, it was dangerous to be by myself right now. Especially when we didn't know who the killer was or what they were after. If someone was nearby, it would be easier to get a hold of Changeless on his allies if I needed to. And I was probably never going to be able to tell this to Kurisu, but the feelings I'd felt when I'd left home were starting to disappear. After seeing Kurisu get hurt and try to protect me, and even cry for my sake despite being such a strong girl, I'd started to understand some things that I hadn't realized when I'd left. What the hell? Damn it. I realized what I was thinking and shook my head. No way. I wasn't like Yuto, who could never seem to get away from his sister.
おい、
Hey,
何
why
が
are
隠
you
れて
turning
んだ
red?
よ。
なんでも
No
ない。
reason.
とにかく、
Anyway,
さっさと荷
go
物
put your
置いて
stuff
こい。
away. Nono's kept your room
Well,
clean.
のののやつがちゃんと掃除してくれてる。
あ
Oh. Dad didn't get mad when I'd left or when I'd come back. And come to think of it, he'd only said one thing on the day I'd left.
そうせざるを
Once
得
you
なかった
understand
の
why
の
Nono
の気持
felt
ちが
she
分かるよ
had
う
to
に
do
な
what
った
she
ら
did,
戻ってこ
come
い。
back.
じゃあな。
See you later.
「荷物置いてくれ
I'm gonna go put my stuff away. Hey, Dad, is it true that Big Bro's coming back? And as I went to my room, Yui suddenly appeared. And I could see Yuto behind her.
おう、
Yep,
来
he's
るな
back
らもう帰
already.
ってきてんぞ。
Oh. Yui's face almost broke into a broad smile when she saw me, but she quickly forced herself to assume a strict expression. What are you doing? Huh? You have to clean the bath, the kitchen, and the hallway. You and I have been doing all your work for you while you've been away.
あ
Oh,
悪い
sorry. I apologized without thinking. So you're going to do our jobs for a while now, okay? Got it?
おう
Yeah. Big bro, it's fine. It doesn't bother me.
気にしてないから
No, you need to be strict about this. Formality, even between friends, is a Japanese saying, right?
でもそん
But
な
if
こ
you
と言
tell
った
him
ら
that, he'll
タ
go
クル兄
away
ちゃん
again.
またどこか
And
行っ
right
ちゃう
after
よ
he just
せっ
came
かく
back
帰ってきたのに
too. I said he has to, and that's that. Hey,
Nah,
Takeru. Do you think that Yui's starting to turn
のの
into
に似てき
Nono?
たと思うか？
Yeah,
特に
especially when
怒っ
she's
てる
mad.
か
Did you say something?
いえ、なんでも
No,
ないです。
nothing,
ごめんなさい
sorry. Yui put her hands on her hips and puffed out her flat chest to glare at me. She did look just like Kurisu when she did that.
もう
Big
父
Bro's
さん
only
が甘や
this
かすから
selfish
タクル
because
に
you
は勝手
spoil
なこと
him,
ばっ
Dad.
かり
おっと
Whoops, now she's
今度は
mad
こ
at
っ
me
ちに飛び
too.
火か。
でタ
So,
クルに
Big Bro, you're not going to go away
もうどこにも行ったりしないんでしょう
again,
ね
are you? Or
Eh?
anywhere again? I can
い
read.
やその
Huh? No,
タクル兄がい
You
な
know
くなっ
how
て
sad
どれ
Big
だけの
Sis
の姉
been
が悲
since
しい
you
のか
left,
分かってる
right?
ユウだってす
And
っ
Yu's
ごく
missed
寂し
you a
がっ
lot
てたんだから
too. What about
So-
you, Yui?
そっか
I see.
Well,
And I...
私も
No. It hasn't really bothered
私は
me.
別に何でもなかったけど
Okay, little Miss Tsundere. And suddenly, the expression on her face changed.
何でも
It
なかった
hasn't, but...
けど
お、おい。
Hey. Aw. She's crying.
あ
Huh? Yui.
ゆい
Stop that. I'm not good with this stuff. I can't handle it when people cry. It's nothing. Yui covered her face with her hands and then ran into her room. Yuta followed quickly after her. Dad scratched his head and sighed a little as he saw them go.
ほら、
Come on,
さっさ
go
と荷
put
物
your
置いてこい、
things away,
タクル。
Takeru.
わかった。
Okay. I got away as quickly as I could. Fair. That scared me. I didn't expect Yui to start crying all of a sudden. I thought nothing would really change around here, even if I left. But... do they really want me here that much? Yes. If they did.
いや、
No, but...
でも
Huh? As I sat there, lost in thought, I was suddenly I was suddenly startled by a knock at the door.
だ、
Who
誰だ？
is it?
タクル兄ちゃん、
Mick, bro.
ああ、
No, hey,
Yutoか。
Yuto.
その、のの姉
Mick
ちゃんが
says
着
us
替
to
えた
come
ら降
down
りて
when
こいっ
you've
て、
changed.
ご飯だって。
ああ、
Right,
Thank you.
thanks.
どうした？
What is it?
あのさ、 ゆい
about
お姉ちゃんの
Yui.
ことだけど。
Yuto crossed his hands over his stomach and fidgeted as he looked up at me.
お姉ちゃん、
She
なんか
was
いろいろ怒
mad
ってた
about
け
a
ど、
lot of stuff,
本当はず
but
っ
she
と
said
タ
she
クル
really
兄ちゃんに
wanted
帰
you
っ
to
てきて
come
ほ
home,
しいって言って
so
て、
she
だ
wasn't
から
really
怒っ
mad.
てたのは本気じゃなくって。
大丈夫。
It's okay.
わかってるよ。
本当？
Really?
な
Yeah.
あ、
So
だから
head on
先に降
down.
りててくれ。
I'll get changed and come
す
join
ぐ
you.
に着替えていくから。
Okay. Yuto looked a little relieved as he left the room.
ユウトは
Nina's got a
ちょっ
little
と背が伸
taller,
びた
huh?
な。
Yuto and Yui had come here at almost the exact same time that I had.
一緒に暮らし
I
始
was
め
worried
た
about how it
どう
would
な
go
るか
when we
な。
first started, but... The Shibuya earthquake hadn't just taken their parents from them, and it caused them severe psychological trauma. During the earthquake, Yuta had been trapped in a dark place for a long time, all by himself. As a result, he was still terrified of darkness and being alone. And that was why he still clung to his sister. And Yui, after the nightmarish incident she'd gone through after the earthquake, she'd become incredibly afraid of men. Say less, I already understand. She was even afraid of me at first. But over time, we started to open up to one another. And when I'd left, they seemed to be doing a lot better. And now, Yui had her act together even more. Yuta was still young, but he did seem a little more grown up than he had before. Even if the world didn't look like it had changed, time was still passing. But what about me? Had I changed?
はい、そろそろ
Okay,
いいわよ。
it's ready.
それじゃあいただきま
Alright,
す。
let's eat.
いただきます。
Let's eat.
おほ
No,
ー
it feels like it's
すき焼きなん
been
て
forever since
久
we
し
had
ぶりじゃねえか。
sukiyaki.
何言
What
って
are
る
you
の？
talking about?
先
We
月
had
や
it
った
last
じゃない。
month.
あのな
Listen,
あれは
that was
鶏肉だっただ
chicken.
ろ
You can't call it
牛肉じ
sukiyaki
ゃな
unless you
いと
make it with
すき焼き
beef.
とは言わねえんだ
そんな贅
We
沢をす
don't
る
have the
余
money
裕うち
to
には
waste
あり
on
ません。
that.
誰かさんが
It's a certain
困ってる
someone's
人か
fault
ら
for
治療費
saying
なんか取れ
you
るか
can't
と
take
か言っちゃ
money
うか
to
ら。
treat people when they're in
別
trouble.
にいいんだけど。
Oh, not that it bothers me.
そういう
You
言い
don't
方
have to put
ねえ
it
だ
like
ろ
that.
もっと
Show me
尊敬し
some
ろ
more respect. Maybe if your name wasn't Sakuma Wataru.
はいはい。
Yeah.
ほらタクル、
Here, Takuru.
お椀貸し
Give
な
me
さい。
your bowl.
よそってあげるか
I'll
ら。
give you some. Kurusu reached out her hand toward me.
いいよ。
I'm fine.
ダメ。
You are not
あなた
fine.
最
You
近ちゃんと
have been
食事して
eating
なかっ
right
たんで
lately,
しょ。
have you?
遠慮
Just give me
なん
the
てしない
bowl.
の。
Kurusu grabbed the bowl from me and heaped the beaten egg high with meat and vegetables.
はい。
Here,
ちゃんと食べ
make
る
sure
の
you
よ。
eat all of it.
あ
No. Okay.
タクルに
Big bro,
こっちにも
there's
お
some
肉
meat
あるか
here.
ら。
Take it.
あ、もういい
I've got enough, really.
何？
What?
の
You'll
のね
eat
のお肉
Bix's
は食
meat,
べら
but
れ
not
ても
mine?
私のは食べられないっていうわけ？
お
Are
前
you pretending to be a drunk old man or something?
おいちょっと待てお前ら
Hey, wait,
もう
guys.
肉ない
The
じゃ
meat's
ね
all
えか
gone.
こういうのは早い者勝ち
It's
だって
first come,
い
first
つも
serve.
父さん言ってる
That's
じゃ
what
ん。
you always say.
言ってるじゃん。
You do always say that.
あだ
I
から
just said you should
もうちょ
show
っと
me some more
尊敬をだな
respect. Everyone was seated around a single pot, eating dinner. I thought that the only point of dinner was to eat until you were full, but...
タクル、ユウト、
Takuru, you too.
お肉の
There's
おか
more
わり
meat in
ま
the
だ冷
fridge.
蔵庫にある
Have
から
some.
ね。たくさん。
おいこら
Hey,
父さんは少
you
し
need to
痩
lose
せ
some
ないと
weight,
ダメ
Dad.
でしょ。
Eat your
野菜
vegetables.
食べなさい、野菜。
俺は
You
お
know,
前
I
を
don't
そ
remember
んな
raising
娘
you
に
to be
育
like
てた
that.
覚えはないんだがな
覚えがなく
Even
て
if
も
you
育っちゃ
don't
った
remember
んだ
it, you
から
did. So
諦め
give
て。
up. Damn. Brutal. Part of me enjoyed sitting around the table and listening to everyone talk. Oh. No, that wasn't true. I definitely wasn't homesick. Maybe it was just that having someone near me made me feel better. Maybe it was having Kurisu offer to help me when I've been in trouble on my own. But it definitely wasn't that I was happy to be home or glad to have come back to where I belonged.
タクルに
Takuru?
タクルにって
Big
ば。
bro. Huh? Oh, what is it?
お茶いるの？
Do you want
いら
some
ない
tea or
の？
not?
さっきから
I've been
聞いてるの
asking
に
and you
全然
keep
答えてく
ignoring
れないんだ
me.
もん。
ああ、ご
Oh,
めん。
sorry.
そいつの
You
こと
know
だ
him.
ど
He's
うせ
probably
また
thinking about
難し
something
いへりく
overly
つでもこねくり
complicated.
回してたんだろ
へり
What
く
do you
つって
mean
なんだ
overly
よ
complicated?
僕は
I
いつ
never
も理路整然と
overcomplicate
正しい
things,
思考。
buddy.
はいストップ。
Okay,
そん
stop.
なこといい
No
か
one
らお茶
cares.
は？
Do you want some tea?
ああ、で
I'd
きれば
rather have some
マウンテンビュ
mountain
ーを
view.
うちには置い
They
てま
don't
せん。
have any here. Hmm?
言
You
うとった
too.
らどうし
What
た
is
の？
it?
ニコニコ
Why are
し
you
て。
smiling?
うん。
It's just
やっぱり
more fun
みん
having
な揃
everyone
ってた方
here.
が楽し
You
い
look
なって
really happy too,
のの
big
姉ちゃんだって
sis.
すっごく嬉しそうだよ。
No.
そう
Do I? Yeah,
そうね。
maybe I do.
そうかもね。
ID sword. Yes, sure are some Takuri sounds. It didn't work. I got in a lot better at seeing my D sword, but I still didn't know how to take hold of it. I asked Adimita for help, but her answers weren't really helpful. Unlike with my psychokinesis, all I needed to do was draw my D sword from the direct sea. I should have been able to do it without needing someone nearby. But when I was by myself, it was just an illusion. Unless I real booted it, I wouldn't be able to use it to attack or defend. If I wanted to use it as a weapon, I needed to share the delusion with someone else. Just like with my other power. At least that's what Arimita had said. But before that, I needed to be able to take hold of it.
くそ。
Damn
もう
it.
一回。
One more time.
ここから
Reach
腕を
out
伸
your
ばして
arm. Fix the image of the sword in your mind. Damn it.
くそ。
It looks so cool, man. I need one. Whenever I tried to get close to my D-sword, it moved away from me like a mirage. If I just flailed my arm at it, I couldn't reach it. My arm's starting to go numb.
する。
タクル
Sakura, I'm coming in.
あ、
Oh, wait. I had my hand stretched out, like a TV hero in the middle of his transformation. And Kurisu was staring at me, her eyes wide. No, it's not what it looks like. I'm teaching you to do transformation pose. Sure you are, buddy.
ユウトはもう卒
Yuto
業し
says
た
he's
わ
too
よ
old
そう
for
いう
that
の
stuff now.
え、
Huh?
ああ、
He
そうだ
does.
っけ。
Kurisu put her hand on her cheek and sighed.
もし自分が
If
本
you're
物
planning
の
on
ヒーローに
becoming
な
a
れると
real
思ってるな
hero
ら
on your own,
やめとき
give
な
it
さい
up, okay?
そんなこと思って
How
な
old
い
do
よ
you。think I
僕
am?
いくつだと。
いくつになっ
No
て
matter
も
how
子供
old
な
you
んだから
get,
タ
you
クル
always
は
act like a kid. And then she stared into my eyes. I could tell that she wasn't blaming me, and that she was genuinely concerned.
タクル
Sakura,
ちょっとそこ
sit
に
down
座
over
って
there, okay?
いや、これから
No,
風呂に
I'm
入ろ
just
うか
about
な
to take a
と。
bath.
いいから
Just
座
sit
りましょ
down,
うね
right?
Ah.
Oh,
Hi.
okay. I sat down on the bed, as I was told.
タクル
Takuru. Kurisu took a step toward the bed and looked down over me. Humans are strange creatures. Whenever someone looks down on us, they seem bigger and more powerful. I quickly stood up and looked down over her instead. When I first met her, she was almost at eye level with me, but now...
これは別に
I'm not training
や
to
まし
try
い
to
ことを
do
するため
something
の訓
bad.
練じゃない。
能力のせいで狙わ
Someone's
れて
after
い
you
るのに
because of your
そうやって
powers.
むやみに
If
使
you
お
keep
うと
trying
す
to
るの
use
は
them like that,
逆だよ。
it's the other way
もっ
around.
とちゃんと
If I
使え
could
るよ
learn
うに
to
なれば
master them, I
自
could
分の
protect
身も守れる
myself,
し
and I could protect
も
every
し
one
も
of
の
the
時は
newspaper club,
新聞
or
部
here
や
at
青葉
Alba
寮のみん
Dorm.
なのことだって助けられる。
だから
But that's the
そういうの
police's
は警
job,
察の
right?
仕事でしょ
No, it's not.
今回の事
You
件
don't、think the police are
い
going
ざ
to
っ
be
て
able
時
to
に
save
警
us if
察
we
に何
need
かで
it?
きるとは思えない。
No, they would not.
けど
Still,
クリスこそ
What
よく
about
口
you,
にするじゃない
Kurisu?
か。
you always say you're
僕ら
going と
のことを守る
protect
とか
us,
なんとか。
but what are you going to do if a
でも
psychic attacks?
能力者が襲ってきたらどうするつもりなんだ。
それは
That's...
ほら見ろ。
See,
や
so
っ
I've
ぱり
got no
僕が
choice
能
but to
力を
learn how
磨く
to
し
use
かない
my
んだよ。
powers. Kurisu stared down at her feet, silently. And then she raised her head and looked me in the eye.
ねえ
Listen,
タクル
Takuru. I've known
私
you
はあ
for
な
a
たの
long
ことをず
time,
っと見てきた
so I
わ
can tell what you're going to
だ
start
からわかる
thinking.
のあなたがこの先何を考えるか
この先、
I'm going to start thinking.
タクルはね
You're going to put
必
yourself in
ず自分
danger.
を危険にさ
You'll
らすよう
probably
なこ
try
とを
and use
す
your
る
power to catch the
例え
killer.
ば自分の力で犯人を捕まえてやろうとか
I gulped. I hadn't really thought about it yet, but knowing me, I'd probably... No. definitely think that.
なんだよ。
You're not a
能力者ではない
psychic,
くせに
so how do you know
予知
the
か。
future?
いつも言っ
I
てるで
just
し
know
ょ
you really well.
能力な
Even
んかな
without
くても
any
ね
psychic powers,
タクルの
I
行
can
動
tell
は簡
exactly
単に
what
読
you're
めちゃう
going
っ
to
て
do.
とにかくお願
Anyway,
い
please.
自分
Just
の身を
focus on
守ること
protecting
だけ
yourself,
考えて
okay?
ね
Takeru?
タクル お願い
Please. Okay.
ああ。
じゃ
Okay.
あ約束の
Then
指切
pinky
りね
swear. Huh? Pinky swear? Like we're little kids? No way, that's embarrassing.
嘘つい
If
た
you
ら
lie,
針
then
を
you're going to
1000
get a
本
lot
伸ば
worse
す
than
どこ
having
ろじ
to
ゃ
stick
済
a
ま
needle
さ
in
ない
your
から
eye. And that's really scary. Then the heavens intervened to save me, and the phone rang out like the Jollercorn? I don't know that word. Jollercorn? I don't know. I tried my best. I hadn't gotten a new one yet, so of course it was Kurisu's.
出なくていい
You're
の
not
か。
going to answer it?
今はあなた
I'm
と
talking
話
to
をし
you
ている
right
ところ
now.
でしょ
でも事
But
件
it
に
might have
関係
something
あ
to
ること
do
か
with
も
the
しれないし。
case. She must have thought I might be right, because she took out the phone and looked at the screen. And then she looked concerned.
新庄
It's
さんだわ
Shincho-san. Huh? I only said it to distract her, but evidently the call really did have something to do with the case. She quickly hit the answer button and put the phone up to her ear. I watched her nervously.
もしもし
Hello, this is
Kurisu.
Kurisu.
はい
Yes.
はい
Yes.
ええ
Yeah. On the other side of the phone, I could hear a note of concern in Shinjo-san's voice. And I couldn't tell for sure, but he seemed to be saying that someone had gone missing.
いいえ来て
No,
ませ
she
ん
hasn't.
だい
She
たい
shouldn't
こ
even
の
know
家
who
を
this
知らない
place
は
is
ず
to
です
begin
し
with. Huh?
タクル
Takeru?
語
What? What did I do? Kurisu moved the phone away from her ear and turned back toward me.
山添さんって
You know
子
that
知ってるわよね
Yamazawa-san girl, right? Huh?
ああ。
Yeah.
例の
She was the
病院
girl
の
we
地下室か
rescued
ら
from the
助け出した子
hospital
だよ。
basement. You really used the term rescued lightly.
その子がね
He says
行
she's
方不
gone
明なんですっ
missing.
て
What? She went missing?
タクルが連れ出
He
したり
wanted
し
to
てな
know
い
if
かっ
you'd
て
taken her.
そ
Of
んなわけ
course
ない
not.
だろ。
I've been with you the
今日
whole
は
day.
クルスたちとずっと一緒だったじゃないか。
そうよね
That's right, yeah.
ちょっと貸してく
Give
れ。
me the phone. I want to talk to
Shinjo-san.
Shinjo-san. I reached my hand toward the phone. Shinjo-san had given me the location of an office in a multi-purpose building in Sakuragaokacho. Sakuragaokacho. Yeah. There are rows of desks there, stacked high with paper that I normally would have considered a cornucopia of information. But I didn't have time to worry about them now. I rushed up to Shinjo-san as soon as I saw him.
あの子がいなくなったっ
She's
て。
gone.
誘
Was she
拐されたんです
kidnapped?
か。
How could that
警
happen
察
with
が
the
ついてて
police
どうし
here?
て。
To be fair, she was kidnapped the first time. Not as well.
いや
No.
電話でも
Like
言
I
った
said
け
on the
ど
phone,
そう
that's
じゃな
not
く
it.
て
でも彼女
But
が
it's
い
true
なく
that
なった
she's
のは
missing,
事実ですよね。
Takaru, stop it.
やめて
What's
どうしたの
gotten into you?
あ
Oh,
あ、悪い。
sorry. Yamasawa Yuki had reminded me a little too much of Minamisawa Senri, and I lost control of myself. Kurisu quickly moved to stop me. And by the way, Kurisu had come to keep an eye on me, in her words, to make sure I didn't do anything stupid.
とにかく
Anyway, it
誘
wasn't
拐
a
とかそういうんじゃないん
kidnapping.
だ
She just suddenly
いきなり
disappeared.
姿が見えなくなってしまって
だから
But
それが誘
doesn't that
拐
mean
さ
she
れ
was
たってことさ。
kidnapped?
それは
It
ないわ
can't be.
だって
Shinja-chan,
この部屋には
Mia-chan,
私と
and I
新
were
庄
all
ちゃ
here at the
んそれ
time.
にミオちゃんの3人が一緒にいたんだもの。
Momose-san, the CEO of Phrygian, had been looking confused and concerned ever since I'd arrived. When I first met her the night we snuck into H Tokyo General Hospital, she seemed like a loud, boisterous sort of woman, but now she seemed kind of tired.
彼女をソファーに座
We
らせ
sat
て
her on the sofa
俺た
while
ち
the
はこ
rest
っち
of us
で
talked
話をしてた
over
んだよ
here.
で
Then we looked
ふと
over
ソ
at
ファー
the
を見た
sofa,
ら
only to
彼
find
女
that
が
she
いな
was
くなってい
gone.
た。
トイレとかじゃないんで
Are
す
you
か？
sure she didn't just go to the bathroom? With the police here, and cop, who you think is doing this stuff outside of the normal work as one. I would say this is part of his normal work, because it's all to help with the case he's working on. He's just not a normal cop. Like, he's not giving out traffic tickets to anyone anytime soon, you know? Kurisu pointed at the toilets in the back. Machija-san put his hand on his forehead, thinking and said,
真っ先に
And
探
that
し
was
た
the
よ。
first place we looked,
でもどこに
but
もいなく
she's
てね。
nowhere to be found.
それ
In
どころ
fact,
か
there's no sign
窓
that
や
she
ド
even
アすら
opened the
開
doors
け
or
た形跡がない。
windows.
考えられるこ
There's
とは
only one
一つだ。
possibility. She's a gigalomaniac,
彼女はギガロ
so
マ
she
ニアッ
used
ク
her
だったん
power
だ。
to escape.
能力を使って自分で出て行ったんだろう。
能力
Her power? Come to think of it, I still hadn't asked. What power did Yamazoe Uki have?
テレポーテーションとか
Teleportation or
そういう
something like that? Kunosato-san whispered an answer, her voice full of hate, even without bothering to look back at me.
よくわ
And
か
I
らな
don't
い。
know.
わからない
You
って
don't know?
ああ、
Yeah.
彼女
She barely
俺
answered
たち
any
の
of
質
her
問にほとんど
questions.
応じる様子がなくてね。
Kunosato-san tried to ask her about
能
her
力に
power,
関して
but
は
didn't get anywhere.
黒里さんが探ろうとしたんだが無駄だった。
そもそも
If
瞬
it
間
was
移動だとすれば
teleportation, she would have left
と
a
うの
long
昔
time
にここを
ago,
抜け出
but
してい
she
るはず
didn't.
だ。だがあいつはそうしなかった。
ただ
Nuki-kun is a
少し
little
特殊なようだ。
special. And
今
that's
回
what
はそ
got
れにやら
us.
れたらしい。
特殊
Special?
私ね、
I've been thinking that
少し
maybe
前
we
から
should
考
turn
えていた
her
の
over
よ。
to an orphanage.
ウキちゃんを一度どこかの児童養護施設に預けた方がいいかもしれないって。それで
I was
さっ
just
き
talking
新
with
庄ちゃんとミオちゃ
Shinjo-san
んに
and
提案した
Mia-chan
ら
about that,
快
and they
く
both
OK をもらっ
gladly
て
agreed.
俺は OK なんか出して
I
ません
didn't
よ。
agree.
私もです。
Neither did I.
ちょっと
Be
黙っててちょう
quiet.
だい。
You're making things more
こんがらがっちゃう
complicated
から
than they need to be. Momose-san motioned for them to be quiet. Ahem.
とにかく
So anyway,
OK をもら
they
った
agreed,
の。
and I took
それで
Richan
私は
down to the
ウキ
parking
ちゃんを
lot
連
and
れて
tried to
駐
get
車
her
場
in
に
the
降りて
car. I know
車
someone
に
who
乗せよ
runs
う
a
としたわけ。
facility like that, and I
知り合い
wanted
の
to
施設に
visit
相談し
them.
てみようって。
じゃあ
Then
彼女を
you
連
were
れ出
the
したの
one
は
who
百
took
瀬
her
さんじゃないで
away.
すか。
So why was everyone so upset that she disappeared? Momose-san had taken her outside. There was no mystery there. As Kurisu and I stood there with our mouths hanging open, she just interrupted.
という夢を
At
見たん
least
だそう
and
だ。
that's how it went in her dream.
は
Huh?
夢
Her dream?
違うわ。
No, it
あれは
really
絶対
happened.
にあったこと
Like, I remember the sensation of her hand
ウキちゃん
and
の
the
手の
rumble
感
in the
触と
car
か
when the
車
engine
のエンジンを
started.
かけた
It
感覚
was
と
all
か
real.
全部リアルに残ってるもの。
けど
But the moment
ウ
you
キ
tried
君
to
を
get
自動車
Yuki
に
in
乗
the
せようとした
car,
途
you
端
came back to
我に帰っ
reality,
たんですよ
right?
ね。
And then you were in
そ
your
したら百瀬
office
さんは
talking
事
with
務所の
us.
中にいて俺たちと話をしている最中だった。
Yes, that's
そうな
right.
の。
俺たちは
We
児童
never
養護
spoke
施設の
about any
話なん
kind
て
of
提案されてない
orphanage,
し、
and we never
ウキ
saw
君
you
と百瀬
leave.
さんがここから
You
出
were
て
here
いくのも見て
talking
い
the
ませ
whole
ん。
time. I'm sure of it.
百瀬さんとはここでずっと話をしていただけです。間違いありません。 なのに、
But
ウ
Uki
キ君
couldn't
は部屋から
disappear
い
from
き
the
なり
room
消えた。
suddenly.
どういう
What
こ
do
と
you
ですか？
mean?
よく
I
わ
don't
かりません。
understand.
多分それ
I
が
think that's her power.
山添由紀の
Once you
能力
capture
なんだろ
her,
う。
I'll look into it again.
彼女を捕獲したら改めて調べてみよう。
Kunosata's use of the word capture pissed me off. I could tell that, like Arimita said. She didn't even think of us as humans. But she didn't have to talk that way about a little girl, did she? Obviously, yes, she does, because she's, you know, like that. Even if she didn't like psychics, did she have to go that far? Apparently. I glared at her, but Kunosata-san didn't seem bothered in the slightest.
ウキ君の行き先ですけ
As for
ど、
where she went, if you two
宮
don't
代
know,
君た
there's
ちが
only
知ら
one
ないとなる
possibility.
と、あとは、
私も
I
今
was just thinking the same
そう
thing,
思ってたところ。
which means
も
that
しそう
life's
だと
about
す
to
れ
get a
ば
little tough.
少しばかり骨が折れるな。
どこなんですか
What
そ
do
れ
you mean? Chijo-san answered me with a bitter sigh.
君もよく
A
知ってる
place
と
you
ころ
know
だよ。
well.
あ
Her
の
old
子の
home.
元の家だ。
え
What? You
まさか
can't mean.
そんな
うん。
No.
ふきちゃん
Yuki-chan
ね
kept insisting she had to
あ
go
そこへ
home,
返
you
して
know?
くれの一点張りだったのよ。
あんな地獄
But
みたいな場
that
所に
place was hell.
一体
Why
なんで
would she?
さて
I
な、
wouldn't know.
とにかく
Anyway, we need to
厄介
get
な
her
こと
back
になる
before
前に
things turn into
取り
even
戻さ
more
ない
of a
とな。
mess.
Takuru
Takuru.
ねえ
Hey,
タクル
Takuru.
し
Shh.
見つかったら
What if they
どう
catch
するんだよ
An hour had passed since we'd first spoken to Momose-san at Frigio. Kurisu and I were hiding behind some plants near H Tokyo General Hospital.
新庄さんたち
You
に
have to
任せ
let
ない
them
と
handle
ダメよ。
this.
私たちみたいな素人が出しゃばったりしたら。
それじゃダ
That's
メな
not
んだ
happening.
山
I'm
添
finding
由紀って子
Yamazo
は
Yuki.
僕
I'm
が見つ
taking
けて
her
青
back
葉
to
に連れて
Alba
帰る
What?
どうして
Why?
彼女
I'm not letting
今
Kunosato-san
の
help
黒里さ
her.
んには渡せない
I was gritting my teeth hard in anger.
タクル
Afterward, Shinjo-san, Momose-san, Kunosato-san had started to come up with a plan to get inside the basement of the hospital. Of course, they weren't going to let us come along. We were told to go home, and at first that was my plan. But then things changed. Kunosato-san said she wasn't going to send to Yamazo Yuki to an orphanage, but to a research center she was affiliated with. She said they were going to research her power there. However, Kunosato-san had treated not only Arimita and I, but also little Uki as nothing more than guinea pigs. And I'd heard her use that word capture many times.
あの子は苦しい実
Finally
験から
free
解
from
放
those
されて
terrible experiments
Yatso
and out of that
近くに出ら
awful
れたっていうのに。
basement. Was Kunosato-san just going to send her right back to the same old life she'd experienced before? Just imagining it terrified me, and it made me come to a decision. I'll save her.
もしここであの子
If
を
I
見放した
abandoned her
ら
here,
また
I'll
同
be
じこ
doing
との
the
繰り返
exact
しだ
thing I did before.
またこの場所
Be
で
abandoning someone
誰かを
again
見
in
捨
the
てるこ
same
とになって
exact
しまう
place. A
昔僕
long
は
time ago,
クルスの親
abandoned
友
your
だった
friend
南沢
Minami
千里を
Sawa
見捨てて
here,
逃げた
and I ran away.
それを今
I
でも
still
後
regret
悔してる
that to this day.
あの山添って子
And
も
the Yamazo
実験
girl
の
was
犠牲
another
者だ
victim of those
だ
experiments.
から今度こそ
And this
僕
time,
は助けた
I
い
want to save her.
そんなことく
I
らいで
don't think that'll be enough to
南
get
沢千
Minami
里が許してくれるとは
Sawa-san
思わない
to
けど
forgive me. But I want to do
助
it
けたいんだ
anyway. Kurisu's voice sounded choked up. She must have been remembering what happened to her best friend.
タクル
Takeru,
あの
listen to me.
あのね 本当は
Senri
千里
Senri
は
actually
千里は
彼
You
女
know
のこと
something about her?
何か知ってるのか？おい、
Tell
クル
me,
ス
Kurisu.
ごめん
I'm
なさい
sorry.
気が
I'm
動転
just
してし
having
ま
a
って
hard time thinking straight.
千里はね
Senri died in the
渋
earthquake.
谷地震で
It's
死
not
ん
your
だの
fault. I swear
あな
it.
たのせいじゃないわ絶対に違う
クルス、
だから
So you don't
タ
need
ク
to
ルが
blame
責任を
yourself.
感じ続ける
You
必
can
要
just
なんて
forget
ないの
about that. Okay?
忘れていいのよ
Kurisu looked down at her feet. And when she did, her hair covered her eyes, and I couldn't tell what she was thinking.
今
Was Kurisu about to say something, then
何を
stopped
言いやめたん
herself?
だろう。
Just as I was about to ask, I heard soft footsteps.
来た。
They're here. Namase-san's van was in the same alley where she picked us up before. They've been watching the hospital for a while now. I saw two shadows that probably belonged to Shinjo-san and Kunosato-san leave the van and run onto the grounds.
クルス、
Kurisu,
向こうが動い
they're
た。
on the move.
大丈
Can
夫
you
か？
do this?
いけるか？
あ
Yeah. I tapped her on the shoulder and she looked up. And I was reminded of why they called her the Empress of Hekiho Academy. There was no trace of the sadness that had been there a moment ago.
ごめんね
Sorry.
ちょっと
I
千
was
里
just
を思い出
remembering
しちゃって
Senri. But I'm
でも
okay
もう
now.
平気よ
本当はここで待っててもらい
I'd
たいんだ
rather
けど
you。wait here. But I couldn't really boot on my own. I needed a partner no matter what.
何言ってる
What
の
are you talking
あな
about?
たのことを
I'm
心
not going
配
to
しな
sit
がら
out
待
here
ってる
alone
なん
and
て
be worried
こっ
about
ちから
you.
お断りよ
だと思っ
I
た。
thought you'd say that. We followed Shinjo-san and Kunosato-san from a distance. A moment later, they had pressed themselves up against the wall near the rear emergency entrance. Even from a distance, I could tell it was more heavily secured than before. The lock seemed to be a newer and sturdier model. But Shinjo-san must have already had the key, because he took something out of his pocket and started to put it in the lock.
あそこから入る
You're
つもり
planning
だ
on getting in from there, huh? Alright then. I quickly created an image in my mind. I looked at the key-like object he was holding, and I envisioned it flying away.
やっ
Damn
ぱり
it.
もっ
I
と
should
訓
have
練し
trained
とくんだ
more.
った
The more I started to panic, the more I lost focus. I couldn't make the delusion clear in my mind.
くそ。
Damn it.
落ち着け。
Calm down.
大丈夫
You're
だ。
fine.
落ち着け。
Calm down.
よし。
Okay,
見え
I
た。
got it. I could see my D-sword floating in front of me.
クルス、
Kurisu,
ちょっと
I'm
脳
gonna
を
use
使
your
わせて
brain
も
for
ら
a
う
little
な。
bit.
どうぞ
Go ahead,
って
though.
いうのも
I
なんか
guess that's a
変
weird
だけ
thing
ど
to say. I imagined the delusion I'd come up with going inside Kurisu, Shinjo-san, and Kunosato-san's minds. Kurisu gasped a little. She must have felt something. The delusion was shared between us, and instantly, the real boot was complete. Clang. The metallic object in Shinjo-san's hand rolled away and hit the ground with a clang. Then I heard the two of them gasp. The key rolled along the ground in a very unnatural way until it rolled down a metal sewer grate. Just like I'd imagined.
よし。
Yes.
バカ
Don't
隠
be
れてくれ
stupid. Hi, Takuru. Just as I was about to make a victory pose, Kurisu grabbed my hand and pulled me back. And then she dragged me down onto the ground.
悪い。
Sorry.
調子
Don't
に乗
get
らないの
cocky. This is
だ
when
か
you
ら
need
私
me
がつい
with
てない
you.
とダメなのよ
Her hand was shaking a little. She was probably still scared of my power, no matter how many times she saw it. That was how most people would react. I hesitated for a moment, then gripped her hand in return. Then I let it go and looked over at Shinjo-chan and Kunosato-san. The two of them whispered to each other, and then silently headed back toward the van.
今だ。
No. Yeah. We crouched low as we headed for the emergency entrance. When we reached the door, I turned around toward Kurisu. She caught up a moment later, but her breathing was a little heavy.
すまない。
Sorry,
ちょっと
I
早
went
か
a
った
little fast. No, I'm sorry. I wish I was more athletic.
もっと運動
Can you
が
open
得意
the
ならよ
door?
かったんだけど。
多分
You think so?
クリス
Kurisu, I'm gonna do it
もう一回。
once more.
いや
Probably a
何
few
回かやるよ
times.
悪いけ
Sorry.
ど
Don't worry about it.
その
That's
た
why
め
I'm
に来てる
here.
んだから。
I stared out the door. The lock was stronger than before, probably because of the time we'd broken in. I imagined the lock flipping of the door opening. There was a heavy click, and the door opened like I'd imagined. And thanks to my power, we were able to make it inside with no trouble. I remember the route to the room where we'd found Yamazawa Yuki, so we headed there. But as we walked through the darkness, I saw that Kurisu was acting a little strange.
Da-
Are
大丈
you
夫か
okay? Yeah. I'm
実は
just a little
ちょっと閉所恐怖症
claustrophobic,
だね。
actually.
でも
But
平
I'm
気。
fine.
気にしない
Don't
で。
worry about me.
平気って
Fine. You're
すごい
sweating
汗
really
だぞ
badly. And then I realized something.
まさか
Is her injury
She's got
bothering
them.
her? She seemed like she was okay, but it had been a really bad injury. It couldn't have fully healed up by now.
おい
No, are
ク
you
リス
okay?
平気だから
I'm fine.
ほら
Let's hurry,
急
okay?
ぎましょう。
あ
Yeah. And she pushed me onward before I could stop.
もうちょっとだ
We're almost there.
あと少し
It's
で
not
例
that
の
much
部屋だか
farther
ら
to the room,
我慢し
so
て
hang
て
in there.
ええ。
Yeah. That's right. It was right around this corner. Suddenly, we heard a voice sobbing in the darkness. Kurisu and I almost leapt into each other's arms. We found the girl of the hour. It was the voice of a little girl.
タクル、
Takuru,
この
is
声。
this... Was it a ghost? No, that was dumb. Which meant it had to be. Kurisu and I nodded and stepped toward the direction of the room. And just like Shinja-san had said, the room was completely empty. And the beds and the patients that had been confined there were all gone. And it was just an empty room now. And standing in the middle of the empty room was a sobbing Yamazawa Yuki. How long had she been there? She was crying like a child who'd lost their mother.
いない。
Nobody's here.
誰も
There's nobody here. Someone answer me.
返事して。
Kurisu couldn't bear to watch. She ran over and gave the girl a big hug. Kurisu started crying not long after, too.
今まで
You poor thing.
よく
You've
頑
had
張った
to be
ね。
so strong for so long.
でももういいの。
But it's okay now.
だから
You're safe.
お家へ帰
So
ろ
let's
う。
go home now. Okay? But Yamazoe must have not heard her, because she just stood there, crying silently for a long, long time. And the whole time, there was nothing I could do but watch. You okay? You want me to take over for you, Takaru?
いいよ
I'm fine.
もう
We're
目の
almost
前だから
there. When we finally made it back to Alba dorm, I took Yamazoe Uki off my back and put her on the sofa. Yeah, I had a feeling. Cute. Piggyback ride for the Littol. And then I lay down flat on the floor with my arms and legs stretched out. Valid.
我なが
I
ら
hate to
情
say
けな
it,
い
but this is pathetic. She wasn't even that heavy. I was just out of shape. I told you I could take over.
運動音
If
痴
I
に
had
任せ
let
た
you
ら
do it,
落っこと
you're
すかも
so
しれないだろ
clumsy. You might have dropped her.
How
How rude. I'm not that bad. And I think I'm in better shape than you are,
タクル
Takaru.
よりマシだと思うんですけど。
Kurisu's eyes were red-rimmed. Her face was red from where she'd tried to rub away the tears. And she must have been embarrassed by it because she turned away from me and said something mean.
はいはい
Yeah,
分か
yeah,
ったよ
whatever.
そ
Anyway,
の子の
we
ことは
gotta tell Dad
父
about
さんに
her. Oh, yeah, you're right. After Kurisu left to get him, I lifted my tired body off the floor and onto the sofa. As I expected, Yamazoe hated the idea of leaving the basement. But after Kurisu's fervent attempts at persuasion, and my own insistence that nobody was coming back to the basement, she'd finally clung to Kurisu and started to break down. And as I carried her on my back, she'd gotten tired and fallen asleep. Where's her family? Her real home? And what about her school? I hadn't had a chance to look the first time we'd gone into the basement, and that data was probably long gone by now. That sis is coming up.
うん
Okay. Kurisu sat next to Yamazoe on the sofa and softly stroked her hair.
この子、
I wonder if there's a
捜索願いとか
missing
出てない
person
のか
report
しら。
for her.
新庄さんの
Jinjo-san
話だ
said
と
he couldn't find
今
any
のところ
data
該
on
当する
her.
データはないって
そう。
I see.
やっぱり
It might be because
渋
of the
谷地震の
Shibuya
せいかもしれない
earthquake.
な
After the earthquake, more data on missing persons and casualties had gone missing than you could imagine. And to top that off, this year had seen the largest solar storm in history affect all kinds of electronic devices. Shibuya hadn't been hit that hard, but a lot of data in other regions had been lost.
分かってるの
Now
は
we
名
know
前
it's
だ
your
け
name,
か
huh? If
せ
only
め
we
て手
at
がか
least
りでも
had
持
some
ってい
kind
れ
of
ばいいんだけ
clue.
ど。のね、
Mix this, big bro.
何かあっ
Is
たの？
something wrong? The door opened. Yui and Yuto peeked inside.
し
The two of them froze next to the door.
まだ寝てなかったの？
You
二
two
人
are
とも。
still awake?
寝よう
Obviously.
と思ってた
We
ら、
were trying to
のの
sleep
姉た
when
ち
we
の
heard
声
you
が聞こえたから。
talking. Is
大丈夫？
everything okay?
また
You're
喧
not
嘩と
fighting
かして
again,
な
are
い？
you? Kurisu and I looked at each other without thinking.
大
We're
丈夫よ。
fine. We're not
私たち喧嘩
fighting
なんてしてない
this
から。
time.
本当？
Really?
だったらい
I
いんだ
hope
けど。
so, but... Suddenly, Yui stopped. She saw the girl sleeping on the sofa, and her eyes went wide. I thought that she was just surprised to see a strange girl sleeping on the sofa, but...
ウキちゃん
Gasp! They know each other, maybe. She said something we never expected.
どうして
What's Uki-chan
Uki-chan
doing
がここに?
here? What you doing knowing Uki-chan? Yui? You know
知ってる
her?
のこの子のこと。
Yeah,
多分
I think so.
あ、
But
でも
wait,
待って
that doesn't make
そんなはず
sense. Yui walked over to the sofa and sat down next to Kurisu. And then she stared at Yamazawa Yuki.
ごめん
Sorry,
私の
I think I
勘違い
was
かも
wrong.
いや、
No, you're
勘
right.
違いじゃない。
This girl's name is
確かにこの
Yuki.
子はウキって名前で。
だって
But
お
that
かしい
doesn't
よ
make any sense.
昔のま
How
まの
can
姿
she
な
look
んて
exactly the same as
そ
she
んなの
used
絶対に
to?
変昔の
As
ま
she
ま
used to?
ウキちゃん
Nikki-chan was in my
私の
class
クラスメート
when
だ
I
っ
was
たん
in
だよ
second grade.
小学校2年の時の
And then the next morning.
もう一度整理する
Well,
ぞ。
blah, blah, blah,
名前
blah, blah.
は
We'll
山
go
添
over this
ウキ
once more, okay?
年齢
Her name
は
is
ユイと
Yamazawa
一緒だか
Yuki.
ら
She's the same age as
13
you,
もしくは
Yui.
14
So either
歳
13 or 14.
うん
Right. Dad was filling out what looked like a medical chart on his computer.
小学校2年
She
の
was
時
in
に
Yui's class
ユ
in
イと
second
同じ
grade,
クラスだっ
but
た。
shortly after the
だが
earthquake, she
渋谷
stopped
地震
coming
の
to
少し前
school.
から学校
We
に
don't know
来な
what
くな
happened
り
to her after
そ
that.
の後どうなったかはユイも知らない。
そう
Yeah.
で、
And you're
彼女
saying
は
that
そ
her
の頃
appearance hasn't changed
つま
at all
り
since 6 years
6年
ago?
前と見た目が全く変わってないとユイは言うんだな。
うん
Yes.
絶
I
対に
don't
変わ
think
って
she's
ないと
changed at
思う
all.
一応証拠も
I
見つけ
found
てきたん
proof
だ
too. Yui showed us a photo.
Huh?
Oh. It was a class photo from her school. I could see a young Yui in a row of children. And in the front row, next to the teacher, I saw Yamazawa.
これ、
Look,
どう思
what
う
do you
よ、
think,
タクル。
Sakura?
他人の空に
It can't just be
感じじゃ
someone
な
who
いの？
looks like her.
ウキちゃん本人だ
That
よね
has to be
やっぱり
Uki-chan.
となると、
Which means some kind of problem with her
成長ホルモン
growth
の異常
hormones,
かな。
perhaps. I mean, Peachy, there's no way Uki wasn't experimented on. Whether or not that stopped her from aging, shrugs, but she 100% was experimented on. Everyone,
ウキちゃんが起きたわ
Uki-chan's
よ
awake. Really?
おう、
Okay,
連れてきて
bring
くれ。
her in.
ちょっと父
Wait,
さん
Dad?
ん
Hmm.
おうじゃない
No
わ
shouting in front of
ウ
Uki-chan.
キちゃんの
You
前
have
で
to be
そん
more
な声
gentle.
出しちゃダメよもっと優しく
Aw.
俺
This
普
is my
通の
normal
声なんだ
voice
か
now.
な。
いいから優し
Just
く
be
する
gentle.
はい。
Okay. Dad glared at her and started mumbling about how he hadn't raised her to be like this again.
ウキちゃん
Nikki-chan,
さ
you can come in
入って
now. After a long pause, a small girl entered the room, shaking a little. Oh. Kudisu took her hand and walked her over to a chair, then sat her down.
ウキちゃん
Nikki-chan, good morning. She flinched when she heard Yui's cheerful voice.
あ
Oh, you don't recognize me, do
6
you?
年前の
only remember what I looked like 6 years ago. Yui took out the class photo and pointed to herself. See? This is me. My name is Tachibana Yui. Do you remember me? Tachibana Yui-san. Oh. Yamazoe Uki looked at the girl in the photo, then at Yui. Then she gave a little start of surprise. You remember? Yes. It's been an awfully long time. Aw, come on. We're all classmates. You have to be so polite. But... Dad typed something else into his computer as he watched them. That settles it then.
そうだね。
Yeah. There's no doubt about it now. Yamazoe Uki was definitely Yui's old classmate. That would go a long way toward tracking down her family. Anyway, this is amazing. I can't believe it's really you. We were surprised, but Yui seemed to be the most surprised of all. Her missing classmate had suddenly shown up at her home, and her brother and sister had brought her there. And she looked exactly the same as she had 6 years ago.
Uki-chan?
Uki-chan, can I ask you some things? Yes, sir. She must have seen Dad's white coat and gotten nervous, because she suddenly sat up straight. Have you ever been told you had a hereditary illness? Something that caused you to stop growing? I don't know. I'm sorry. Do you remember when you stopped getting taller? How and when it was? How was it when you were in Yui's class? I'm sorry. I don't know that either. But I started feeling weird after the earthquake. I see. So it was after the earthquake. Yes. Let me see. It could be PTSD-induced damage to the growth hormones. Or maybe some kind of chromosomal abnormality, akin to Turner syndrome. What kind of doctor is Sakuma here? Because normally doctors aren't this quick to try to find diagnosis unless their name is House. I need to have a real specialist take a look at it to be sure though. Dad made some adjustments up to her chart as he whispered to himself. The look on his face was far more serious than he usually lets us see. Ito poked his head through the door. He must have been standing in the hallway the whole time and looking in on us. Ito, if you don't get going, you'll be late for school. That's right, you. I'm fine. I'll go in a second. He seemed a little scared by his sister's scolding. But he summoned up his courage and came inside, then stuck his hand out toward Yuki. Or Uki. Here, take this. In his hands was a tiny chocolate bar. Aw. It was the kind of chocolate you could buy in huge packs for cheap at the supermarket. Huh? Oh, yes. Thank you. Hey, you. Yuki-chan is older than you. Don't talk to her that way. Older than me? Yuto looked very confused and a little unsatisfied. Okay, I, fortunately, can understand a little bit about what happened there, because normally that doesn't make sense. It doesn't sound like he said anything disrespectful, right? Like, it didn't sound like... from the English translation, it doesn't sound like he did anything that would be inherently wrong. But like, he used the verb ageru when handing her the chocolate, saying it was for her. And, if I remember correctly, because there is, like, multiple ways you can talk about, like, giving and receiving in Japanese. And the main difference is of course, going to be politeness, like Japanese tends to do anyway. From what I recall, like, ageru implies that you are, like, on equal social status as the person that the recipient is, or the giver is on equal footing with the recipient. The giver doesn't have to be the speaker. Or they're below in social status, like, say, a pet. So that's why that exchange happens, like, oh, like, she's older than you, be more polite. So there is a different verb that he could have used instead for giving, because she is technically higher in social status than him because she is older. Yeah. Nuance with language, and now things make a little more sense, hopefully, for y'all, about why that happened, because that's not really something you can translate. You just kind of have to know.
どうしたのウキちゃん。
What's wrong, Cookie-chan?
はい。
Oh, it
なんだ
just
か
feels
不
a
思
little
議な気分
strange.
です。
I'm not
こう
used
い
to
うことに
this.
慣れていないので。こういうことって？
This? Well,
こうして
seeing
家
the
族
family
が
get
集まって
together and
みんな
talk
でお
like
話しし
this.
たりです。
君の家族
What
は
about
ど
your
うしたんだ
family? Shinjo-san had said that she wouldn't tell him anything, but maybe in this environment she'd be more willing to talk.
私が
When
小さ
I
い
was
時に
little, they
私
left
を
me
先
with the
生たちの
doctors
ところ
and
に
went
置いて
away.
行ってしまいました。
That's rough. My eyes narrowed when I heard her say the doctors. She's probably talking about the scientists in that underground facility. Your English brain assumed the implication was that he was trying to flirt with her. Hey, she's too old for yes sport, calm down. No, that definitely not it, because, like, she's the same age as Yui, and, like, I'm pretty sure he's not much younger than Yui, so it wouldn't be a problem like that, for sure. Like, they would definitely be close enough in age, like actual age, for, flirting, if that was the case. Because I do understand how you got there, because, oh, he gave her chocolate. Maybe he's trying to flirt. But in actuality, he's thinking, oh, she's like a second grader, because he doesn't know yet. And it's like, here, little child, here is chocolate for you. So that's why I was like, hey, she's older. Yeah, she was probably talking about the scientists in that underground facility. And then she'd become a victim of their human experiments, just like Mina Miyazawa Senri. And I had her parents done something so horrible to her.
君はそれからずっと
And you stayed in
あ
that
の地下
basement
施
the
設
whole
に
time.
はい。
Yes.
どうして
Why didn't you,
その
well, run
逃げなかっ
away?
たんだ。
お母さんに
Mother told me
どこに
not
も
to
行
go
くなと言わ
anywhere.
れたので。
You are very obedient, dear.
そ
Th-
そんなの
that's horrible.
ひどい。
Nui put her hand to her mouth. I could feel the rage boiling over within me.
この子は
Just like
僕
me.
と同じだ。
Her parents had ignored her ever since she was a small child, and eventually they just disappeared. But despite that, she wasn't able to get away from them.
君はそこで
And you're
実験
taking
の被
care
害
of the
者。
victims. I mean,
いや、
the people
み
there,
んなの世話
right?
をしていたけど、
Why?
それはなぜ？
Because of the
地
earthquake.
震のせいです。
And there was sadness in her eyes as she remembered the people that had vanished. After the earthquake, the doctors ran away, so did the nurses who cared for everyone. So the hospital told me to take care of them instead. What about school? You're wearing the uniform for Hekiho Academy, right? At your age. You should be in middle school. Hekiho Academy? Our school. You're a student there, right? But Yamazoe shook her head. These belong to a friend. A friend? At first, it wasn't just me who was taking care of the people in the basement. I had a friend who was my age. Sometimes she wore these, and I always told her that they were cute. I see. Did that girl come from the outside then? Yes. I see. So she was the student at Hekiho. At first, she worked alongside me, but then she started to get sicker and sicker. It didn't come as often. Then one day, she gave me these as a present. She said that she didn't need them anymore, and that I should take good care of them. Yamazoe looked down at her shoes. So these clothes are very important to me. I always keep them clean and wear them all the time. And when I saw her expression, I understood. Her friend probably knew that she was dying. She'd been a victim of the same horrible experiments as Minamisawa and Yamazoe, and had gotten sick as a result. And then you took those old people out. Takuru. Kurisi interrupted me gently. Let's not ask too many questions at once, okay? Oh. Uki-chan, I know this has to be painful for you. So let's talk about it more tonight instead, okay? You're right. And we haven't even eaten breakfast yet. You must be hungry, right? No, I'm not. Right on cue. There's a cute little rumble from her tummy. She guessed a little embarrassment and turned red. Dad, that's okay with you, right? Yeah. Hey, Uki-chan. This girl may look scary, but her cooking's top notch. Go upstairs and eat. Dad. Kurisi pursed her lips, and as she took Yamazoe's hand and stood up. Here. You can have one other piece of chocolate. Thank you. As she left, Yuto quickly gave her another piece of chocolate. At lunchtime. He did use ageru again, so I think maybe not necessarily the verb ageru was the problem, but like the rest of the like politeness of his sentence the first time. Oh, Japanese and politeness and Ito and I were heading to the club room. And that Yamazoe Yuki girl's at the elbow door now. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen now, but I want to try and help her. I can't believe she was in Yui-chan's class though. Yeah, I'm surprised too.
でも
That's a
まあ
good thing
良かったん
though,
じゃないの
right?
よかったって。
Good thing.
ゆいちゃん
Nichan was happy,
喜んでたんだ
wasn't
ろ
she?
あ
Oh,
あ、
so
そう
that's
いう
what
こ
you
とか。
meant.
確かに。
Yui had really looked happy this morning. Normally, she probably tried her hardest to play the role of being Gito's big sister. But she was still only in middle school. If she ran into her friend, of course it would make her happy.
何がおかしい
Something
んだよ。
funny.
いや
Nah, just
お前
no
口
matter
では
what
なん
you
だかんだ
say,
言いなが
you
ら
really care about your
結構
family
大事
now,
にしてるから
don't
な
you?
今の家族のこと。
That's not it.
照れるなって
Don't blush. It's a good thing for you too, isn't it? To have something like that.
僕は
I'm
別
not
に照れてる
blushing.
のか。
Wait, it doesn't matter
ていうか
anyway.
そんなこ
Come
と
on,
どうでも
let's
いいん
go
だ
to
よ
the。club room.
ほら、早く部室行こう。小野や有
We
村や
need to
和
tell
樹にも
Onoe, Arigumida, and
山添のこと話さなきゃ。
Kazuki about Yamazoe too. Of course, I'd already told everyone to come for an emergency meeting. They should be in the room already.
というわけで、
So now,
今、
Yamazoe
山添
Yuki
由
is
紀って
safe
子
at
は
Albador.
青葉寮で保護されてる。
タク
Hey, to go,
だ
Taku.
ったんだね。
いや、
Nah,
そ
it
れほ
was
どでも。
nothing. And the girls all seemed very impressed. Sediko is squeezing her ghetto froggy strap in lieu of applause. And it still sounded nothing like it was supposed to, and honestly, I would prefer the applause, but I was used to it now, I guess.
ダメよ、セリ
Sedika,
カ、カズキ。
Kazuki, don't flatter him too much. He'll do something crazy
また無茶な
again.
ことするから。
I will
し
not.
ないって。
Sheesh. I appreciate that she's worried about me, but Kurisu's a little too protective. I really wish she'd stop saying that stuff when everyone else is around. It's embarrassing.
けど
It
気持
feels
ちいい
good
っすね。
though. I bet Shinjo-san and Kunosato-san are so pissed right about now. Serves them right though.
有村は前から
Do
知
you
って
know
た
about
の？
Yamazoe? How do you
山添
know?
のこと。
ええ、
Yeah,
まあ
I just talked to
電
her
話
a
でちょっ
little
と
on the
話したく
phone.
らいですけどね。彼女、
She
フ
didn't
リ
say
ージ
much
ア
of
では
anything
肝
at
心なことは
Frigia,
ほ
I
とんど
guess.
喋らなかった
She was
みたい
probably
ですよ
scared of them.
多分、久野里さんたちを怖がってたんでしょうね。
They did kidnap her, so, you know.
まあ、
Yeah,
そうだろう
I'm
ね。
sure.
それに比べ
But I
てあ
guess
の
she
子
was pretty
宮
talkative
代
in
先
front of
輩
you,
の前では
huh?
割と素直だった
Maybe
み
you
たい
just
で
look
すね。
dumb. You actually know how to treat a
先輩って
lady.
とぼけた顔して実は女の子の扱いがうまかったりするんですか？
Arimita grinned. Of course I do. I've read every issue of Cool Cat Press that I can find. I couldn't actually say that though, so I didn't.
違
No,
うよ。
it's because
クリスと
Kurisu
ユ
and
イがい
Yui
てく
were
れたか
there.
ら。
当たり前じゃないですか。
You didn't
何
take
本
me
気に
seriously,
してるん
did
で
you?
す？
That's
気持ち悪
creepy.
いですよ。
I was never going to get used to this. For one thing, no matter how hard I tried to glare at her, she just smirked in response. I love her so much.
Mm.
I was trying to think of a good comeback when the door to the club room suddenly opened. The door opened softly, but it was clear that the person standing in front of it was furious.
おい
You. Speak of the devil! Kunosato was there, and the light in her eyes was as cold and fierce as ever. Instead of yelling, her voice was low and threatening. I figured that she'd eventually find out that we were the ones who'd taken Yamazoe, but I didn't expect her to come here so soon. I didn't expect her to come here so soon, rather.
お前
What the hell are you
どういうつもり
thinking?
だ
どうっ
What?
て。
あいつは
She's
重要な証
important
拠なんだ
evidence. Don't you dare get in the way of my investigation. Kunosata-san stomped over to me and grabbed me by the lapel. Her arms were so thin that I didn't know where she got the strength from. It was like she was filled with some kind of raw hatred that gave her power. Hey, stop! Violence is wrong! And Serika and Kurisu grabbed her and tried to pull her off, but she held on to me tightly. I didn't force her to leave. What? She wanted to come with us. She said she didn't want to go with you. And that was only a half-truth. But I felt like I had to say it anyway. What do you mean, evidence? She's not a thing or a test subject, so I can't let you have her. You don't know anything, you asshole. Her hand gripped me tighter. What the hell is going on? What's wrong with this woman? A lot, spoiler alert. I felt a powerful rage building up within me. There was a low buzzing in my ears, and Kurisu and Serika's shouts suddenly seemed to be very far away. Damn it! And then I saw my D-sword. And it was clearer than it had ever been before. God damn it! Her face suddenly twisted in pain. I looked at her with blurry eyes. I saw that a red mark had formed on her pale white wrist, as if something was digging into it. She was gritting her teeth, and her breathing made it seem like she was trying to endure some kind of incredible pain, but she still refused to let me go. Miyashiro-senpai! No! Don't do it! Arimina's scream sounded like it was coming from underwater. The new violent temptations with me had almost taken control. What she's trying to do is wrong. I'll get rid of her myself. That righteous anger combined with an maddeningly sweet feeling of omnipotence overflowed from within me and refused to stop. With this power, I can do anything I want. That's right, do it. Just kill the bitch. Stop it right now, Takuru. I heard Kurisu yell in my ear. At the same time, I felt a strong slap across my cheek. And then Kunosato-san and I were pulled apart. I suddenly regained control of my senses. Kurisu, Ito, and Serika had grabbed me and were holding me back, while Ayumida and Kazuki were doing the same to Kunosato. Kunosato-san looked at me with eyes full of hate, then pushed Ayumida and Kazuki away. Watch out! Serika quickly grabbed them and held them up. Are you okay? Thanks, Seri. Enough of this, Kunosato-san. Now it's the Empress's turn to get mad. Please leave. You're not part of this club, and you're not welcome here. She was clenching her hands into fists so tightly that they turned white, standing between Kunosato and the rest of us as if she were some kind of guardian. You don't know why you're behaving this way toward Takuru, Yuki, and Arimura-san, but I won't allow it. I don't need your permission. You saw it for yourself just now. Psychics are dangerous. You were literally choking him out. Leave now. Kurisu's voice left no room for discussion. Neither of them moved a muscle for a moment. No, wait, what? Stop. You literally instigated the conflict. Exactly, like, no shit, he'll use his powers for self-defense if prompted to, like that. And then we heard panting coming from the hallway.
どこへ行ったのかと思えば、
Kunosato-san.
やっぱりここか、久野里さん。
It was Shinjo-san. He must have been running for a while, because his hair was messed up and there was sweat on his forehead.
俺に任せてく
Didn't
れ
I
と言
ask
わ
you
な
to
かった
leave
か？
this to me?
あんたの言う
The
通り
way
のや
you
り方
want
で
to
は
do it takes so long that the evidence we need will be destroyed.
焦るのは
I
わ
know
かる
you're
が、
in a hurry,
物には
but
言い
there are
方
better
というもの
ways
が
to
だ
do
な。
things. I'm sorry,
申し訳ない、クル
Kurusu-san.
さん。
We didn't come here
俺
to
たち
fight.
は何も揉めたくて来たわけじゃないんだ。
I don't know, Shinjo-san. Kusanata-san definitely came here to fucking fight, if not more.
じゃあ
Then,
何の
why
ご
are
用
you
ですか？
here?
そう
Please
怖
don't
い
look
顔
at
し
me
ないで
like
くれるか
that.
な。
Shinjo-san looked at both of them, troubled. And then he turned toward me.
なあ、宮代君。
Listen, Miyashiro-kun.
君の言いた
I
い
know
こ
what
とは
you're
わか
going
る
to。say, and I don't blame you for
ウキ
taking
君を連れ
Uki-kun
去ったこ
last
と
night.
も
We
別
were
に責め
probably
た
in
り
the
しな
wrong
い。
there.
確かに俺たちが間違っていたかもしれん。
Probably my fucking ass. You definitely were in the wrong.
だから、
So,
今日は
now
ちゃ
we've
ん
come
と
to
頼
ask
みに
you
来
a
た。
favor.
ウキ君
We
と、
want Uki-kun,
あと、
and if
できれば
possible, you and
君と有村
Narimura-san
さんも
to get an
しかるべき
examination of
場
the
所
proper
で
facility.
一度検査を受けてほしいんだ。
はあ
What? Narimura responded before I could.
新庄さん
If anyone needs their head
頭の中
examined,
見て
it's
もらったら
you.
どうですか？
Did you honestly think we'd say, yes, please run a bunch of experiments on us?
なんて言うとでも思います？
話は最
Let
後
me
まで聞いてくれ。
finish. This is for
こ
your
れは
sake,
本当に
really.
君たちのためなんだよ。
His next words came as a shock to me.
実は今し
We
がた
actually just spoke to
佐久間
Dr.
先生に
Sakuma.
相談をしてきたんだ。
父さんに
To Dad? Both Kurisu and I shouted at the same time.
君たちはその
You two don't. You don't like the way Kunosato-san does things, right? Well, then why not go to a hospital run by a friend of Dr. Sakuma's? You don't like the way Kunosato-san, you know, the one that tried to choke you out? Yeah, you don't like that, right? Then let's have things that might be a little more preferable for you. Come on, dude.
おい
Hey, you can't just...
久野里さん。
Kunosato-san. Chijo-san put up a hand to cut her off.
わかるだろ。
You know that this is the
そうしなき
only
ゃ
way they're ever
彼
going
ら
to
は
agree,
検査になんて
right?
応じないよ。
I'll let you come
ちゃん
too.
と君も同席させるから。
I don't know, I think we kinda need a restraining order against her right now. Kunosato-san furrowed her brow in anger, then turned around and left the room. Shijo-san waited until he couldn't hear her footsteps anymore, and then sighed a little in relief. Then he continued.
ということで、
So,
どう
how
だ
about
ろう
it,
な
you two?
宮代君。
I heard that Dr. Sakuma
Arima-san.
was once an assistant professor
な
at
んでも佐久間
University
先生、
Medical
以前は
Department,
大学
after
の医
all.
学部で准教授をしていたらしいじゃないか。
And I didn't know that. Kurisu must not have known it either, because she looked over at me, confused.
父さんが
Dad was an
准教
assistant
授
professor?
知らなか
I
った
didn't know that.
ただの変
I
な
thought he was
おじさん
just a
だと思
weird
ってた
old guy. Sarika, I love you, but please.
おいおい。
Hey, I
まあ、
mean,
あの
over the
ルック
way
スじ
he
ゃ
looks,
そう
I
思わ
could
れ
see
る
where
か
you
もしれ
get
な
the
いけど。
idea, but... Chijo-san laughed, seemingly in sympathy with my dad.
佐久間先
I
生の
think
友
a
人
friend
な
of
ら
his can be
信頼でき
trusted.
ると
What
思う
about
んだけ
you?
どな。どうだろう。
私は
Either way,
どっ
I
ちにしても
refuse.
嫌ですよ。
そういう
I
と思っ
thought
た。
so. Chijo-san chuckled. He had probably been anticipating that response.
でもな、
But you know,
有馬さん
Animita-san, from what
佐
Dr.
久間先生の
Sakuma
話だ
said,
と
your powers
君
might
ら
be
の能
having a
力は
bad effect on
身
your
体に
health.
対して良くない影響を与えているかもしれないそうだよ。
え
What?
山添由紀君に
Gomi
会って
Yamazaki-kun. You
あれ
find
で
it very
14歳
difficult
とい
to
うのは
believe that she's
明
14
らかに
years
おか
old,
しいと思うんだ。
right, Miyashiro-kun?
なあ、宮代君。
It was true that Yamazawa looked the same as she did in her old school pictures. It was like the passage of time had stopped for her. That was caused by her powers.
浮紀君に関しては
Dr. Sakuma's
絶対に
opinion
精
is that
密
she
検査
needs
を
a
すべき
detailed
というのが
examination,
佐
no
久間
matter
先生の
what.
意見だ。そのついでに
Why not have them take a
宮
look
代
at the
君
two
と
of
有
you
村
while
さん
they're
も
at it?
異常がない
Just
か
think
見
of
て
it
も
as
ら
a
ったらどう
checkup.
だろう。
How does that sound?
まあ、人間ドックだと思えばいい。それでも
Arimita was still unsure, it seemed. But what happened to Yamazawa must have bothered her.
少し考
Let me
えさせ
think
て
about
く
it
だ
for
さ
a
い
little.
ああ、
Yeah,
それで
that's
構わない。
fine.
まだ OK
I
したわ
haven't
けじ
said
ゃ
I
ない
would
です
yet,
よ。
okay?
もちろん。
Of course.
あの、
ん
I looked out the door where Kunosato-san had just left.
父さんが必
Your
要だと
dad
いうな
says I
ら
need an exam.
検査
I'll
を受
get
けても
one.
いいです。
But if Kunosato-san
けど
starts
その途中で
shooting Yamazawa
もし
at Arimura like
黒里さん
guinea
が
pigs in the middle of it,
山添や有村を実験動物みたいに扱ったりしたら
I hesitated for a second, unsure of what to say. But then I continued.
Bo-
I'll
僕だっ
lose
て
it.
怒ります。
I'll use my
能
powers
力を
and
使って
I'll wreck everything. I'll wreck everything so bad that you won't be able to do
めちゃくちゃ
a
にしてやり
single
ますから
exam.
覚えておい
And
てくださ
I
い。
mean it. Taco?
おいおい。
Dude,
ダメよ。
you can't say
何
that.
言ってるの？
What are you saying? Everyone was shocked to see me act so differently than usual. But I remembered the sense of power, of omnipotence that I just felt and shivered a little. That's right. I could do it. I would do it. If I had to, I could do what I just did.
了解だ。
Understood.
検
I'll
査
make
中
sure
は
she understands that
俺が
during
注
the
意をしてお
exam.
く。
Will that do?
それでいいだろ。
Shinjo-san sighed a little and shook his head. He was probably trying to come up with a way to keep Kunosato-san quiet and not having much luck.
それじゃあ、
Alright. Sorry to
部活中
interrupt
の
your
ところ、
clock time.
お邪魔したね。
He went to leave the room, but just before he stepped into the hallway, he turned around.
あっといけない。
Oh, oops.
もう一つ
I
大
had
事
something
な
else
話があっ
important
た
to
んだ。
say, and I almost forgot
黒
it
里
because
さ
of
んのせいで忘れ
Kunosato-san.
るところだった。
なんでしょう
What
か。
is it? It was clear from Kurisu's voice that she was still upset. As she should be, frankly. Shijo-san may have been used to dealing with Kunosato-san, but the Empress was a whole different beast altogether. He flinched a little.
宮
This
代
is from
君とお前さん、
Miyashiro-kun, Onari-san, and
伊藤君に
Nito-kun.
ちょっとね。
私
Me?
俺、
I didn't
何
do
も悪いことし
anything.
てないっすよ。
してないです。
Neither did I.
君たち、
You threw
病
trespass
院
into
の
the
地下へ
hospital
不法侵
basement,
入したじゃ
didn't
ない
you?
か。
That was...
と
Wait,
いうか
didn't
それを言ったら
Kunosato-san do the
新庄
same
さんや
thing?
黒里さんだって
その
That's
通り。
right. So that was
だから
just a joke.
今のは冗談として。
冗談に
No,
な
it wasn't funny.
本気で
You
びっく
really
りしちゃっ
scared
たよ。
me.
聞きたいことっていうのは、
I wanted
実
to
は
ask you
その
something
地下
about
施設の
that.
ことでね。
Shijo-san's voice dropped several decibels as he continued.
久野里さんの話だと
Kunosato-san said there was
施
data
設の
on a girl
PC
named
に
Minami-sawa
南
Sendai
沢
on
千
the
里とい
computer
う
there.
女の子のデータがあったというんだが、
Mentioning this right in front of Kurisu. I heard Kurisu gasp a little. Shijo-san didn't know about Kurisu and Minami-sawa, though, so he just looked confused for a moment before quickly continuing.
久野里さんは
Kunosato-san
君
says
た
he
ちも
saw
一
it
緒に
too.
見たと証言し
Do
て
you
る。
remember?
覚えはあるかな。
Suddenly hearing that name almost brought back the trauma, but
はい、
yeah,
見ました。
and I saw it.
データは確か
The
にあった
data
ん
was
だね。
there, right?
はい。
Yes,
そうか。
I see. Chijo-san looked at Ito and Serika too. They both nodded.
なら
Then, I
これを
want you
確
to
認して
see
ほしい。
this. It's
証拠
evidence,
品で
so I
ね、
couldn't bring the real
実
thing
物を持
here,
ってくるわけには
but...
いかなかったんだが。
He put his hand in his pocket and took out a photo. It showed what looked like an ID card. Oh, she was born in 97. Wow. I couldn't believe my eyes. The card looked old and was dirty and scratched in spots. But the name and face on it were clearly visible.
南沢千里
That's right. The name Minamisawa Senri was displayed under the ID number. And the expressionless face in the picture was, without a doubt, the girl I'd seen in the basement.
どうだろ
Well,
う。同姓
could
同
it
名
be
の別
just a
人ってこ
different
とは
person
ない
with
か
the same
な。
name?
この佐藤さん
Kunosato-san
はこの
insists
子
that
に
it's
間
her.
違いないと言ってるんだが。
間違いないです。
It's her. I'm sure of it. Yes,
俺も
I
そう
think
思い
so
ます。
too.
私も
Me too. All three of us answered instantly. Shinjo-san nodded and put the picture back in his pocket.
そうか。
I see.
ありがとう。
Thank you.
あの、
That
そ
girl,
の子、
Minamisawa
南沢千里さん
Senri-san.
がどうか
Is
したんで
something
すか？
going on with her? I asked, trying to say it in a way that wouldn't bother Kurisu.
ゆうべ、
Last night.
そうだな。
Would
ちょう
have
ど
been
君
just
が
about the
浮君
time you
を
two took
青葉
Kuki
寮
Kun
に
to
連れて行
Abba
って
Dorm, I
しまった頃か。
suppose.
新鮮駅
Two
付近の
officers
警
on
ら中だ
patrol
った
near
巡査2
Shinsen
名が
Station found a
連
woman
続
they
放火
believed
事
to
件
be a
の容疑
suspect
者
in
ら
the
しき
serial
女を
arson
発見した
case.
っていうと
Then
私たち
that's
を
the
襲ったパイロキ
pyromaniac,
ネシストですか？
pyrokinetic who attacked us? I mean, sure, pyromaniac too, but
あ、
yeah.
君ら
Your
の証言
testimony in
が
the composite
有村
sketch
さんに
that I
協
made
力
it
してもら
helped
った
with
似顔
matched,
絵
I'm
と
told.
特徴が一
And
致
more
してい
than
たそうだ。
anything, she supposedly
何
was
より
using
も
fire.
火を使ったらしいからね。
Supposedly, I'm told. Those words probably meant
逃げられたんで
she
すね。
escaped, didn't she?
職務質問をし
They
よ
were
うと近寄
attacked
った
when
途
they
端
went
に
to
やられた。
question her.
一
One was
人は
badly
重度の
burned and
熱
was
傷
in
で
the ICU.
今病院の ICU にいる。もう一人の
The
調
other
査は
officer tried to grab her
女を
and got
取り
into
押
a
さえようとも
struggle.
み合いに
He
なっ
was
た。
badly burned on the arms and
結
legs
局
too. But
彼は
during
手
the
足を
struggle,
焼か
she
れ
dropped
重傷なんだ
this.
が、その時女が落としたのが
He pouted the photo in his pocket.
は？
The woman had Minamisawa Senri's ID card. Why? Oh, buddy.
それって
Does that mean she's the one who attacked Miyashiro? It has
って
to,
ことです
right?
か？
Suddenly, there was a loud crash. I turned and saw that Kurisu had gone deathly pale and had grabbed a table to keep herself from falling over. Her teacup was lying shattered on the table. The sound was probably from when she dropped it.
クルス、
先輩大
Are you okay?
え
Yes.
丈夫？ごめん
I'm
なさい。
sorry. I
ちょ
just
っと
felt
め
a
まい
little
がしたものだ
dizzy.
から。
座って
Sit
ろ
down, Vice
副部長。
President.
ありがとう。
Thanks. Kazuki dragged a chair over for her to sit in, and she collapsed down on top of it. Chijo-san seemed to realize that something was wrong. He hesitated a moment, and then asked in as soft as a tone as he could muster.
クルスさん、
Kurisu-san,
もしか
do
し
you
て
know
君
something
も
about Minamisawa
南沢
Senri?
千里のことを何か知っているのか？
新庄さん。
Chijo-san, that's not...
平気よ。
I'm fine,
Takuru.
Takuru. Kurisu looked up at him and cut me off. And then she told him how Minamisawa Senri was her childhood friend, and that she was being used as a test subject in the experiments conducted in that basement. And finally,
でも
but her name's on the
千里は
memorial
渋
for
谷
the
地震の被災
victims
者
of
と
the
して
Shibuya
慰
earthquake.
霊碑にも名前が
It can't be
刻まれて
her.
います。犯人であるはずがありません。
And that's how she finished.
そうで
That's
すよ
right.
あの地震の
Kunosato-san
犠牲
said
にな
she
ったんだろう
probably
って
died in the
黒
earthquake
里さんも言
too.
ってましたし
And quickly added. Chizu-san thought for a moment and then spoke, even more gently than before.
クルスさん、
Kurusu-san,
よく話してくれ
thank
た
you
ね
for。telling me this.
ありがとう。彼女の死
And
の
the
記
police
憶
are
が事実かどう
investigating
か
whether
は
the records
今
of her
警
death
察
are
で再調査
accurate.
を進めている。
Depending on what we find,
その状
I'm
況次
afraid I
第
may
で
have
は
to ask you to
申し
come
訳
down
ない
to the station to
改
talk
めて
to
署の方
us.
で話を聞かせてもらうかもしれない。
構いません。
That's fine. Though I do
何かの
believe
間違
it's some
いだと
kind of
信じてます
mistake.
けど。
And there was no doubt in her voice. Shinja-san chuckled a little.
君の友達を
You don't
疑
want
い
to
た
doubt
くは
your
ない
friend,
が、
but it's part of my
因果な
job.
商売でね。犯人の正
Whoever
体
the
はともか
arsonist
く、
might be, there's a chance they might come
Miyashiro-kun,
after you two again.
君らはまた狙われる可能性がある。
Be
用心だ
careful.
けはしていてくれ。
や
You're
っぱり
right,
そうですか
aren't
ね。
you?
君たちは能
She
力
knows you're
者だと
psychics now.
バレてしまったん
If
だ。
something happens, call me
何かあっ
anytime.
たらすぐに連
24
絡。
hours a day.
24時間、いつでも構わない。あと、
Also,
Minasawa
don't tell anyone
Senri no
about
ken ni
Minami
関しては、
Sawa Senri
警
until
察
the
から
police
正
make
式
an
に発
official
表があるまで
announcement.
外部に
I
漏
don't
らさ
want
な
the
いでく
media
れ。
finding out until we know
真
the
偽が
truth
は
of
っ
the
きりする
matter.
まで
Thanks.
マスコミあたりに騒がれたくない。頼んだよ。
Chizo-san took one last worried look at Kurisu, and then left the room. And everyone fell silent, lost in their own thoughts. In the end, we cancelled the club meeting, and Kurisu went to the student council to finish up her work. She was still pale. We all got ready to go, but for some reason, no one actually left. Sarika and Narimura were flipping through magazines. Kazuki was still silently playing ESO too. Ito and I were talking about the case and glancing occasionally at the map on the wall. Or thinking about the case, rather. And there's a new sticky memo on the map. And while I was trying to decide if we should add it, Kurisu had written it down and copied it herself. Killer might be Senri. Her normally beautiful handwriting was a little unsteady. She'd probably been shaking as she wrote it.
南沢千里か。ああ、
Yeah.
確かに
And the girl on the ID card photo
似てたな。
does look a lot like the one Harimura
ID
described
カー
for
ドにあ
that
った子供の
sketch.
頃の写真と有村の証言の似顔絵。
Harimura looked up from her magazine. She was staring at me. She didn't say it aloud, but it was obvious that she was trying to tell me that she thought so too. I thought back to when we'd been attacked by the pyrokinetic. She was a lot older, but if the girl on the ID card grew up, she might look like that, yeah.
それじゃ僕らを襲
Then
ったの
was she the one who attacked us? But that can't be.
なんかもう
If only
少
we had
し
some
情
more
報ら
solid
しきものがあれば
information.
な。
もしかすると
Maybe that girl knows
あの子なら
something.
何か知ってるかもしれない。
あの子
That girl?
ああ、
Yeah. I hesitated for a moment, but then realized that we weren't getting anywhere as things stood. So I held my hand out toward Ito.
悪いが、
Let me
スマホ
borrow
を
your
貸してく
phone
れ
for a second.
お前
You
まだ
still
新
don't
しい
have
の
a
手
new
に入れ
one?
てないのかよ。
もう
I'll
じき
get
買
one
うよ。
soon. Thanks.
サンキュー。
I took the phone from Ito and dialed the number. After a few rings, I heard a voice I knew well. It was a gruff voice that I'd heard almost every day lately. Hello, this is Alba Clinic.
もしもし、
Hello, Dad.
Tosan.
It's me.
僕、
Oh, Takaru. What is it?
あのさ、
It's about Yamazoe-san.
Yamazoe-san
How's she doing
なんだ
right
けど、
now?
今どうしてるかなと思って。
No, I'm giving her an IV in the exam room. She looks a little malnourished. Like you said, she was probably in a really bad environment. Couldn't you do a blood test to find out if she's malnourished? Like, you're probably correct, but you have the technology to, presumably, to just do a blood test to find out for sure. That's all.
今って
Can I talk to
電
her
話
on
に
the
出られるかな？
phone? She's not asleep, so that should be okay. Just give me a second. I could hear him get farther away from the phone. A second later, I heard a loud, high-pitched girl's voice. Hey, big bro. Nikki-chan's getting treatment right now. You can't bother her. Your yelling is probably bothering her worse than I would, right? You would have probably been so worried about Yamazoe that she'd raced home after school. It was great to see her being such a good friend, but right now it was a huge nuisance.
ああ、いいから
Just let me talk to
山添さんに買わせてくれ。
Yamazoe-san. It's
大事な用なん
important.
だ。
後じゃいけ
I
ない
can't
の？
wait.
これ
This is a secret,
絶対に内緒
okay?
な。
I
で
don't
き
want
れば
Kurisu
ク
to
ルスに
find
は聞
out.
かせたくない話
So
なん
don't
だ。
you tell anybody,
お前も
okay?
黙ってろよ。
There was silence on the line for a moment as she thought. But eventually, she reluctantly agreed.
わかった。
Okay,
待ってて。
just hold on a second. Since it was just me, she probably didn't feel the need to put the call on hold. I could hear doors opening and closing as she went to the exam room. There was some whispering, and then I heard another girl's voice. Hello?
ああ、
Hey,
急にごめんな。
sorry to bother you. You're not
具
feeling
合
well?
良くないのか？
大丈
I'm
夫です。
fine. I said it was okay, but Dr. Sakama and Yui-san were worried about
さんが
me.
心配してくださって。
そっか。
I see. I was relieved to hear that she wasn't in bad shape. What I was about to ask might be bad for her, mentally.
あのな、
Hey,
もし
do
か
you
して
know a girl named
南
Minamiya
沢千里
Sawa-senri?
って子知ってたりしないか？
はい。
I'm sorry?
南沢千
Minami
里。
Sawa-senri.
記録による
According
と
to the records,
渋谷地震まで
she went to the
君
same
と同じ施設
facility
に通
you
ってい
did
たはずな
until
ん
the
だ。
Shibuya earthquake.
年齢は
She would have been...
6年
that
間だ
was
から
6 years ago?
12
So
歳くらい
maybe
かな。
around 12?
南
Minami
沢
Sawa-senri-san.
そうだ。
That's right.
どんなこ
Is
とで
there
もいい。
anything you remember
彼
about
女に
her,
ついて
no matter how
何か覚
small?
えていることはないか？
Minami Sawa-san. Minami Sawa-san. She seemed to be trying her best to remember. I saw that the rest of the newspaper club, not just Ito, but Sarika, Animira, and Kazuki as well, were staring at me and trying to hear the conversation. Yamazoe thought a little more before she spoke.
えっと、
I
直接
never met or talked with her
お話しした
directly,
ことは
but...
ないです。でも、
でも、
But
何度か
I saw
治
her
療室
going
に入
into
って
the
いく
treatment
姿を
room
見
several
かけたこと
times.
があります。
They said her treatment was more
あの子は
painful than mine,
私よりも
so
辛
the
い治
doctors
療を
told
して
me
る
I
って。
had to work hard too.
だから、私も頑張るようにって先生に言われました。
I remember the experiments I'd seen as a little kid, as well as the tiny girl crying for help. I shivered. But Yamazoe had it far worse than I did. She'd actually been exposed to the same torture that Minami Sawa-senri was.
ごめんな。
I'm sorry for
嫌なこと
making you
思い出
remember
させて。
something so horrible.
いいえ、
No,
私
I
は
never thought it
そ
was
れが嫌なこと
horrible.
だとは思っていませんでしたから。
そっ
I
か。
see. Is
他
there
に
anything
何
else
か
you
覚えている
remember?
ことはないか？
あと、
Oh, right.
そうで
Minami
すね。
Sawa-san had hurt her leg,
南
I
沢さんは
think.
随分と足が悪かったみたいです。
足？
Her leg?
はい。
Yes.
私が
And when
見
I
かけた
saw
時
her,
は、
she
い
was
つも
always
片
dragging
足を
one
引きずっ
leg.
ていて、
The
先
doctors
生
would
に
always
支え
help
ら
her
れるよ
into
う
the
にして
treatment
治療
room,
室へ入っていきました。
片足を引
dragging
きずっ
one
て。
leg. So I was sure she was getting treatment for her leg. Dragging her leg. Wasn't that the same thing the pyrokinetic was doing? Miyashiro-san?
いや、 ごめん。
Sorry.
また何かあ
If
った
I
ら
need
聞くよ。
anything else, I'll
あ
ask.
りがとう。
Thanks. Alright. I'll give the phone back to Yui-san.
そのまま切っちゃ
Just
ってく
hang
れ。
up.
うるさい
She's
から
being annoying.
じゃあまた後で。
Anyway, see you later. Hey, I heard that. What do you mean annoying? I hung up the phone before she could finish and handed it back to Ito. Then I looked at the map again. I saw the 2 notes that Kurisu had written with a shaky hand. Pyrokinetic found. Hatsenri's ID card. Pyrokinetic equals killer. Killer might be Senri.
あの女は
Is that woman really
本当
meeting
に
me
南
Sawa
沢千里なの
Senri?
か。
でも
But she's
彼
dead,
女はもう
right?
この世にはい
Her
ないん
name's
だ
on the
ろ。
memorial like the
副
vice
部長が言うよ
president
うに
said.
慰霊碑にも名前があるし。
なあ。
Yeah, but the
で
data
も
we saw
地下で見
underground
た
only
データで
said
は
that she was
行方不
missing.
明になってた。
だから
And
それは
that's...
そう。
Yeah,
新
just
庄
like
さんにも
Shinzo-san
言った
had
けど、
said.
僕
I
は
was
そ
sure
れが
that
彼
meant
女
she
の
was
死を意
dead.
味すると思い込んでい
Kurisu
た。
had said so too.
クリスもそう言ってたし。けどもしそ
But
れが
what if the data was right?
データ通り
And she actually
本当
did
に行
just
方が
go
わからない
missing.
だけだとしたら。
どういうこと？
What do you mean? Sarika was looking between me and the mapping fusion.
尾上も
Don't
覚
you
えがあ
remember
るだろう。
Onaway?
AH
AH Tokyo
総合
General
病
was
院
one
は
of the main
渋
relief
谷地震
centers
の
during
時
the
災
earthquake.
害拠点
They
病院
would
の
have
一
had
つに
any
なってい
number
た。
of ways to share
被
data.
災者のデータはいくらでも共有できたはずだ。
そうなると
But that's kind of
ちょっと変です
strange.
ね。
If her name's on the
慰霊碑に
memorial,
名前があ
that
るっ
means
てこ
that
とは
some hospital
どこか
somewhere,
の
or
病院
maybe the police,
あるいは警察で
officially
彼女
declared
の
her
死亡が
dead.
正式に確認されたってことですもんね。
だろ
Right?
あんな
That was a
実験
pretty
までやってい
large
た
scale
連中が
operation.
大事な被
They
験者
wouldn't
の
miss
死
it
亡
if
情報を
one
見
of their
逃すは
test
ずがない。
subjects was dead.
確かに
Mm, I
行
wouldn't
方
write
不明なんて
missing,
書かないよ
yeah.
な普通。
Nito crossed his arms and thought,
ってことは
which means
死
her
亡
name
した
on
っ
the
ていう
memorial is a
情報が
mistake
間違い
or
もしく
deliberate
は嘘
lie.
か。
新庄さんは
And
多
it's
分そ
probably
れを
what
疑って
Shinjo-san
る。
suspects.
南
The
沢千里
Minami
という
Sawa
子はまだ
Senri's
生きていて、
alive, and that
そし
she's
て僕
after
たちを
us.
狙ってるってことだ。
And the red sun was about to sink below the buildings on the horizon. I looked out the window and saw that the sunlight had illuminated the clouds and formed a brilliant twilight. But soon it would disappear, and the cold night would come.
でもさ、
But if
仮に
Minami
犯
Sawa
人が
Senri's the
南沢
killer,
千里だと
why would
し
she
て、
attack you
なん
too?
でお前を襲う
Or
よ。
why would she attack you, rather?
それ
I
は
don't know.
わからな
Maybe
い。
she hates psychics for some
なぜか
reason.
能力者を恨
And
んでい
just
て、
happened to find
たまた
me.
ま僕が引っかかったのか。
だったら
But if that's the
わざわざ
case,
ニュージェ
well,
ネ
then
の
what's the
狂気
point
事
of
件を
recreating
なぞ
the
る
new
必要
gen
なのね。
madness?
宮代
Of
の推
course.
論通
If
り
there's some kind of
犯
message
行に何
encoded
か
in
メッ
the
セージがある
killings,
とすれば
that's a
別
different
だけど
matter.
な。
Some kind of message. Back then, when Minami Sawa Senri had begged me for help, I'd left her there. I was just a kid, what could I do? No matter how much I told myself that, she probably wouldn't agree. She probably thought I was a ray of hope, but I left her there and ran away. Buddy, I don't think she noticed you, I'll be honest. It wouldn't surprise me if the memories of that turned to hatred and rage that she would never forget. And after she was set free during the Shibuya earthquake, she attacked me.
Huh?
Suddenly, I remember the time when she'd attacked me. And that smile on her face had chilled me to the bone. And she said to me, I found you.
まさか
Could it be revenge?
復讐。
Is this whole thing Minami-sama... Is this whole thing Minami-sama Senri's way of getting revenge on me? Damn it, that's impossible. I realized what I was thinking and slapped my hands against my cheeks to drive the thought out of my mind. Really? Really?
Oh,
Yup, just leave it to me. Yay! Isn't that great, Uki-chan? He said you could stay here. After we got back, Kurisu and I were met with some good news. Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Aw, I told you you don't need to be so polite. Shinjo-san had come here in the afternoon, and that's what he'd worked out. And there were several reasons. First, Fujiya couldn't keep her anymore, but due to her power, it would be difficult to give her to a normal orphanage. Second, Shinjo-san was taking a different route than the other officers on this case, so he said he couldn't give her to a police facility. And the most important thing of all was that this was what Yamazoe wanted. Having her old friend Yui here seemed to be helping her a lot. That's great, Uki-chan. Yes. She blushed a little and nodded. Thanks, Dad. Don't worry. I'm actually glad to have her, unlike a certain someone. She's very nice and does a good job with the chores. She's feeling a little better. She says she's going to help around the clinic too. Dad, can I assume that last one was directed at me? Yui pouted, but Dad just laughed and ran his hands through her hair. Where should we put her? We don't have any spare rooms right now. You want to sleep with me, right? Alright? We can't do that. What about you two? Who cares? You don't mind, do you? You? See, he does mind, so no. The one about my room. No way, big bro. You're such a pervert. There's no way that's a good idea. No, that's not what I meant. Once this case was settled, I intended to leave. So I could sleep in the dining room or something, and she could have my room. But Kurisu seemed to know exactly what I was thinking, and she poked me in the stomach. What? I'm not letting you just leave us again. The deal was that I only stay here until the case is resolved, right? That's true. But I told you a bunch of times that I don't think you've got any business living on your own. Dad suddenly slapped his hands together. Oh, I know. We do have a spare room. Huh? You know, we had that room that we used to use when the nurses did overnight shifts. Huh? We use that as a storage room now, though. But that room gets a lot of sun, and I've been thinking that it's a waste to use it as a closet. Then you should have cleaned it out earlier. Kurisu sighed and turned to me. You can clean it out tomorrow. Help me with it, okay? Okay. You don't answer cheerfully. But what do we do for tonight? You can stay with Uki-chan, and you two can stay with Dad. Does that work? Yeah. Okay, I'll go get a futon ready. You, can you help me? Okay, but... Oh, I can do it myself, man. It's fine. You don't know where anything is yet, right? Stop being so polite.
あと敬語はいいってば。
Yes, ma'am.
だから
And stop saying
そこは
ma'am.
はいじゃなくて
Just talk normally. Try it, okay? Okay.
で
But
も
I'm going to
私
help
も手伝
too.
うので。そう
Yeah?
それじゃ
Then
あ
let's
一緒に
both.
あ
No,
ちょっと
wait a
待ってくれ
second. Stop Yamazoe before Yui could take her out of the room.
どうしたの
What's wrong,
特
big
に
bro?
山添
Yamazoe. I
新
talked
庄
to
さんから
Chinja
話は
san,
聞いたけど
but I wanted to ask you one
もう
more
一回だけ
time.
確認させてくれないかな。
はい
Yes?
僕のスマホ
You really don't know where my
今どこにあ
smartphone
るか
is,
本当に
do
知らな
you?
いんだよな。
スマホ
Smartphone?
ほらこうい
You
うのだ
know,
よ。
like one of these. Yui took out her phone and showed it to her. When Yamazoe saw it, she finally seemed to remember.
あ
Oh,
新
the
庄さんが見
telephone
せ
that
てくれた
Chinja-san showed
電話
me.
機のこ
I
とで
put
す
it
ね。
back where it fell.
あれはその落ちていた場所に戻したんです。
その後
Do you know who
誰が
picked
拾った
it
の
up?
かわからないか。
は
I
い
don't.
すみ
I'm
ません。
sorry.
そ
I
そ
see. So it was just like Chinjo-san had said after all. Then who exactly had my phone and the picture inside it? And how had they been able to call Ito's phone?
タクルに
Big bro,
もういい
can we go now?
話
Are
は
you
終わ
done
り
talking?
ああ
Yeah.
それじゃあ
Let's get ready for bed then.
父さん
Dad, I can use the stuff from the clinic,
病院の使っても
right?
いいよね。
うん
Yeah. And we just hung them up to dry.
ま
And
だ
there
使っ
should
て
be
ない
one
や
we
つがあった
haven't
ら
used yet.
あれ使え。
And there's also
あ
the
とシー
sheets.
ツも。
わかって
I
るって。
know that. Oh,
あ、そう
right,
だ。ね
Uki-chan.
え、うきちゃん。
Do you want to take a
お風呂も
bath
一緒に
together?
入らない？
Huh? Yes, ma'am.
だから
I told you to
はいじゃない
stop that. Okay.
言
No,
っとくけど、
you.
ユウは別
You're
だ
not
から
allowed
ね
to。take one with us, okay?
わ
I
かってる
know
よ。
that.
ユイのやつ
Yui's really
随分と
excited.
はしゃいでるな。
そうね。
Yeah,
でも
but I
わ
can
かるわ。
understand.
やっぱ
It's
りお
nice
友
having
達っていいものよ。
Yui took Yamazoe and Yuto out of the room.
クルスは大丈夫
Are
か
you okay, Kurisu?
どうして
Why do you ask?
ほら、
Yeah,
食費とか
because of
いろ
food
んな世話とか
expenses and
一人分
stuff.
増えるだろ。
You've got another person to take care of now.
世話は
It'll be
平気よ。
fine.
うきちゃんはいろいろ
Yuki-chan
手
says she's
伝
going
っ
to
てく
help
れる
around
って
the
言う
house,
し、
so it'll
む
actually
しろ
get
楽になる
easier.
くらい。
As for food
食費
expenses,
とかは
as long as
まあ
Dad works
父さん
hard.
が頑張ってくれれば。
Yeah, leave it to me. No, I'm gonna hit the bathroom. Dad quickly ran out of the room to escape Kurisu's gaze.
もう
That man. She chuckled, but there was a kindness in her laugh. Oh boy, how's Miyashiro? Completely awakened. Shall I do it? More. More? Yes, more. More suffering, more regrets. The pain of the abandoned. And for that, more, as you wish. I need to read these faster, I guess.
はあ
Agreed. Sunday. Arimita Yamazoe and I got a full got a full medical check at a hospital run by one of Dad's friends, just like Shinjo-san had suggested. And now the numbers, brainwaves, electrocardiographs, MRIs, and other images were lined up on Dad's computer screen. Of course, as a complete amateur, I had no idea what any of it meant. Kunosata-san was talking to my dad as if she was one of his colleagues, rather than addressing him as the much older man that he was.
おかしなものって何
What
で
do you
す
mean you
か
found something
ただでさえ
strange?
こんな検査
I'm
され
already
てムカつ
pissed
い
off
て
that
る
I
の
had to do this
し
exam.
かも
I
今
was
日
supposed to
友
meet
達
up
と
with some
約束あっ
friends
たんです
today.
よ。女子同士
When
っ
a
て
girl
一
blows
度
off another
断ると
girl,
後
it makes things
々面倒
complicated
な
down
ん
the
ですけ
road.
ど
Ademita put her hands on her hips and complained. Yamazoe, for her part, looked scared. She was hiding behind me and trying to stay out of Kunosato-san's sight. Fair.
素人は黙っ
You
て
don't know anything.
邪魔
And you
だ
need to shut up. I'm getting in the way.
はあ
What?
冗
No
談じゃ
way.
ないですよ
If I don't make things
ここで
clear
ちゃ
now,
んと言って
he
おか
knows
ない
what you're
と
going to do
こ
in
の
the
先どんな
future.
実験をされるか分かったもんじゃありませんからね
Amateurs like
そういう
you
こと
piss me
言う
off
ど素人
the most.
一番腹が立つ
なあ有
Hey,
村さん
Ademita-san, Kunosato-san.
そうやっ
Don't
て
you ever
一
get
日中
tired of
喧嘩して
fighting all
て
day?
疲れないか
She just sighed like he always did. Ademita's eyes narrowed as she glared at Kunosato-san, who just laughed.
で
So, Dr.
佐久間先
Sakuma, what did you
結果はどう
find?
でした
分かったこと
If you
があれ
found
ば
something,
なるべく
tell me as
早
fast
く
as you
お願いし
can.
ます
I want to go
でき
shopping
れば
after
この後
this.
買い物に行きたいんで
ああ、そうする
Yeah,
よ。
sure, I will.
まず、
First, as for why
ゆきちゃ
Yuki-chan
んの成
stopped
長阻害
growing,
因子に関
we
して
won't
だ
know
が
for sure for a while.
これ
It'll
は
take time to
す
get
ぐに
results
は
back
わか
on
ら
her
ん。
chromosomal and
染
hormone
色体から
tests.
ホルモンの分泌異常まで詳しい結果が出るには時間がかかる。で、タク
And
ミ
as for
と有
you
村
two,
さんに
you're in
関
good
しては
health.
体は
No
ど
issues
こに
with
も異
any of
常
your
なし。
internal organs.
どの臓器もすこぶる健康だ。ただし、
But Takuru is
タ
showing
クル
clear
は食
signs
事の
of
バランス
eating an
が
unbalanced
明ら
diet.
かに悪い。
Certain nutrients are
特
very
定の
clearly
栄養素
missing.
が欠乏して
I'll
る
make。this very clear to know.
これはののに
Please.
よーく言っとくからな。有村さん
And for you,
は少し
Hanami-san,
甘いも
need
の
to
や
cut back on
油
the
を
sweets
控え
and
た方
fatty
がいい。
foods. No junk
ジャン
food.
クフードも
You're on a
やめ
straight
る
path
こと
toward obesity right
この
now.
ままだと
The-
確実にメタボへ一
Huh?
直線だ。
I think he's pulling shit out of his ass.
げ
体のことは
Enough
別
about their
に
bodies. What
No,
about their
I don't.
brains?
ああ、
Yes,
これが
well, this is an
MRI だが
MRI scan. That clicked on one of the images, which displayed images of a human brain. Aremita must have found the sight of her own brain creepy, because she looked away. Yamazoe didn't seem to know what it was, and stared at it from behind me, confused. Kunosato-san clicked through the images slowly, checking each little part in turn, but then finally tossed it away.
3人ともネ
Now
ガテ
three of them are negative, aren't they?
ああ、
Yeah.
ネガティブ
The
だよ。
samurai shows negative.
ネガティ
Negative? What?
ブ
Does that mean I'm
頭悪いって
stupid?
ことですか
Artemita staggered back as if she'd been given some kind of shocking news. Yes,
ィ確かに
You're
頭が悪いな
extremely
バカすぎる
stupid. Oh, no way.
いやい
No,
や
no. That's not what the
そういう意味
word
じゃないから
means. That chuckled a little.
久野里
Kunosato-kun, you're an
君は
even meaner
聞いてい
person
た
than
以
I've
上
been
に人
told.
が悪いね。
ネガティブの
And
意
she
味が
doesn't
わ
know
からな
what
いようなや
negative
つは
means. Then I'd say
Baka to
calling her
断じていいはずだ。
stupid is fair. You're in Japan. I think it's fair for her to not know every single fucking English word. Fuck off, Kunosato. Kunosato, I'm gonna revoke your degree. I don't even know if she has a degree. She's still in high school.
こい
I
つ
see
は
what
新庄君
Shinji-kun's
の
going
気苦労も
through.
わかるね。
でしょ
You're right. Chijo-san gave out a tired smile.
安心して
Don't worry,
有村
Amina-san.
さん。
Negative in the medical sense is a good thing. It means there's no unusual
つまり
symptoms.
おかしな症状は出ていないということだよ。
I'm not sure that's necessarily what negative test results mean. It just means there's no indication of what you were looking for.
君の
Your
脳
brain
は
is completely
至って正常ってことさ。
Oh, you scared me. Anamita sighed with relief, for once acting like a girl her age. I finally understood that this is who she really was. She told me once before that she was always trying to be the person that the people around her wanted her to be. So there's no relationship between the Gigalomaniac's power and the enlargement seen in their brain. I mean, the enlargement you saw before was, you know, post-death, so you might want to bear that in mind, you know? At the very least, I can tell you that I'm not seeing any issues with them on these charts. You can decide for yourself what that means in relation to those gigolo whatsits you're talking about. Kinosato-san frowned and lapsed into thought. But there was a commonality between all of the murder victims. Their brains all showed the same symptoms. Can we point out the victims? Murder victims. That means dead. Kinosato-san showed Dad her tablet computer. It had several brain scans on it that weren't ours. Artemida looked away again. You can tell from looking at this, right? The cerebral neocortex is swollen. You're right, now that you mention it. Dad whispered as he looked at the tablet. It's swollen. It's bigger. That's right. About 1.2 times their normal size. So I wanted to see if your brains showed the same symptoms. But the result was negative. Your brains are no different than a normal person's. I mean, has anyone checked on the size of that thing on normal murder victims? Like, this could be a thing that's just normal in death. Or it could have to do with the way they were murdered. You know. Which means something happened to the victims that caused their brains to swell. I don't know about that. This isn't large enough to cause a problem with their daily lives. It wouldn't affect them mentally either. They probably didn't even notice it. In other words, their brains were either like that originally, or this happened to them when they died, or perhaps this is what killed them. We don't know. Dad looked at the tablet and nodded. That's right. Either way, we don't have enough data to make a decision. If only we had 2 or 3 more victims. I want to smack Mio so much right now. Like, girly pop. Focus. I told you, stop saying that. Shijo-san treated it like a joke, but her face is completely serious and terrifying. So does that mean there wasn't any real point to this exam? You're kidding me. The cerebral neocortex is the largest part of the brain, the upper part with all the wrinkles, if you will. It's like half the brain's volume. So, yeah, it being swollen would be bad, but... yeah. I mean, if there's any truth to what they said, since it was only swollen by 1.2, it wouldn't have really affected them in their daily lives. But it's still an odd thing that, like, all the victims have that, which I think is the only reason why they're looking into it. No, that's not true. Knowing that you're healthy and your brain is fine is a blessing, right? Shijo-san tried his best to make her feel better, but... don't say things to me that you don't mean. You were just thinking, this is why Animated is such a hassle just now, weren't you? That's not true. Oops. Shijo-san gave up and lowered his head. Sorry. Man, what a waste of a day off. I'm leaving.
私そろそろ行きますね。
Animita grabbed her bag and tried to leave.
ちょっと待って
Wait a moment. But she turned around at the door when Kunosata-san stopped her.
何ですか
What is it?
最後にもう
Help me
一
with
つ手
one
伝
more
え
thing. I need your
お前の
power.
能力が必要だ
嫌です
No.
だから
I told you,
さん
Kunosata-san.
物には
Well, there's a
頼
right
み方
way
と
to
いうもの
ask
が
for things. But Kunosata-san ignored him. As she does.
山添
I
由紀の
want
能
to
力に
ask
ついて
Yamazoe Yuki
ちゃんと
about
聞
her
いておきたい
powers. Yamazoe shivered and hid behind me. Fair. Dad saw her and frowned in a way that only I could notice. And then he said, I'm gonna hit the restroom. I walked past Adibita and out the door. Coward. On the way out, he whispered to me,
俺は向こうへ行っ
I'm
てる
going to
わ
leave for a bit.
超能力
Psychic powers are outside
な
my
んて
field of
話だ
study as a
医
doctor.
者の領分
Just
だ
like
ね
this makes me
聞
feel
い
like
て
I'm
るだ
gonna
け
go
でこっ
crazy.
ちの頭が変になりそうだ
Coward. After Dad left, Kunosata-san looked at tiny little Yuki with cold eyes.
山添
Yamazoe, you don't seem
お
to
前
know
自
the
身にもよ
details
く分かっ
yourself,
ていないようだ
so
な
just tell me what you know.
とりあえず知っていることだけでいい話してみろ
Her harsh tone only scared Yamazoe more, but I looked at her and nodded, and she tried her best to work up her courage. I think I have the power to make what someone imagines into reality. I guess.
誰かが
What
心に
someone
描いたもの
imagines.
それは
Can that someone be anyone? Anyone near me?
形とい
Can
う
it be
のは
anything?
つま
For
り
instance, if I imagine this coin,
例えばここ
Kunosata-san
にあるコインを私が思い描いたら
Kunosata-san took out a penny and showed it to Yamazoe.
そう
It
い
can
う
be
も
things
のの
like
場合
that,
もありま
or
すし
not.
そうじゃないものもあります
そうじゃな
What do
い
you
もの
mean
ってい
by
うと
or not?
なんと言え
And
ば
I
いい
don't know
のか
how
わ
to
からない
describe
です
it.
が例えば
Situations,
状態を
maybe?
状態
Situations?
綺麗に
Like,
なりたい
if they
と
want to be
か
pretty,
こうなって
or if
ほ
they want
し
something
いと
to
か
happen?
それが現実になるっていうのか
Is it
現
real?
実
I
なん
don't
でしょ
really
うか
know.
私にもよくわかりません
それは
Could you do it now
今
if
や
you
ろうと思
wanted
ってで
to?
きるものなのか
No,
意識
I
してで
can't
き
do
る
it
わけ
whenever
で
I
はない
want to.
です
どうだ
Mel,
Arimita.
Arimita. Kunosata-san looked over, but Arimita just turned her head.
はいはい
Yeah,
その
yeah,
子
she's
嘘
not
はつい
lying.
てま
It's
せ
all
ん
true,
よ
I
全部
guess.
本当みたいです
So she
無意識
subconsciously
のうちに
real boots the wishes and
他人の
thoughts
思
of
考や
other
願望を
people.
リアルブートしてしまうということだな
なるほ
I
ど
see.
そ
That
れな
explains
ら
how she
こ
disappeared
の
from
前フリージアから
Frisia
姿を
while
消した
Mose-san
方法も
was
説
thinking
明がつ
about
く
got real booted.
百瀬さんの思考がリアルブートされてしまったわけか
So her power could only real boot other people's thoughts and wishes, but not her own. It was like her own life. She had no hopes of her own, and only lived her life for the sake of others. In a way, it was a very sad power.
好むと好まざる
If
と
it
にかか
happens
わらず
whether
能
you
力を
wanted
発
to or
動してしまうとい
not,
う
then it's
点
similar
で
to
は
Arimura Hine's
そこにいる
power.
有村ひな
The
えと同
power
じ部類
itself
だ
is impressive, but inconvenient.
能力自体は大したものだが不便なものだ
不便で
Sorry
悪
I'm
かったですね
inconvenient.
で
So, when
そ
did
れ
this
はいつ
start,
からだ
Yamazoe?
山添いつからそんな
When
能
did you
力を
get
身
this
につけたの
power,
か
is what I'm
と聞い
asking.
ている
Was it during the experiments in the
地下
underground
施設での実
facility?
験中にか
No,
私
I
は
was
劣
a
等
bad
生でした
student.
から
ならいつだ
Then when? I think it was after the
渋谷
Shibuya
の地震の
earthquake.
後からだと。
やはり
I
な。
thought so.
やはりって
Why is that?
こいつらの
I
話
looked
か。
into what they said
あと、
and what you found
あ
about
んた
the
が調べ
victims'
た被害者た
past.
ちの過去
When。you put it together, they all awoke to their powers at almost the exact same time.
能力に目覚めたと思われる時期がほぼ同じだ。
あの地震
So
が
the
原因だっ
earthquake
た
was
の
the
か。
cause?
まだ仮説だ
And
が
that's
な。
still just a theory, unfortunately. Kunosata-san started to type something into her tablet.
待ってくれ。
Wait, earthquakes happen all the
地震なんて
time.
どこでも頻繁
If
に起こって
everyone
る。
created the
その度に
Giggle
ギガロ
Mania,
マ
we'd
ニ
be
アックスが生ま
overflowing
れて
with
たら
them.
キリがないじゃないか。
You see, though, that earthquake was special.
いや、
No, I'm not talking about the
私が言っている
earthquake
のは
itself.
地震そのものじゃない。
あ？
あの時、
And you remember that something
不可思議
strange
な
was
現象
observed
が
in
渋谷
Shibuya
で観
during
測
the
されたのを
earthquake,
覚えてい
right?
るか？
Something strange. And I did remember, actually.
もしかして
Do you mean that white
あの
light?
白い光ですか？
Kunosata-san nodded. That white light. The white light that had covered us right after the Shibuya earthquake. There were a lot of rumors about it, including one that said it was plasma caused by the earthquake. But I heard that no one really knew what it was, even now.
驚いた
And
な。
I'm surprised.
久野
I
里さん
didn't
が
take you
陰
for a
謀論者だと
conspiracy
は思わな
theorist,
かった。
Kunosata-san.
陰謀論？
What conspiracy theory?
まさか。
Wait,
一
do you
時
mean
期
the
流
one
行した
from
あれ
after
で
the
すか？
earthquake? I was talking about a certain rumor that had gone around right after the earthquake. And the rumor said that the earthquake was caused by a secret tectonic weapon experiment, a joint project between the US and Japan that might have gone awry. And that the mysterious light was caused by its explosion. This rumor also said that Chaos Child Syndrome, which was believed to be a form of PTSD, might actually be caused by the materials used in that weapon. The rumor was popular on @channel for a while, but people quickly got bored of it. By the time I'd woken up from my coma, no one was talking about it anymore. No, it would have been more accurate to say that, instead of people getting bored of it, someone had done their best to erase all traces of it. At the time, I'd found this strange and started looking into it outside of the internet. Despite the scale of the earthquake, there had been no aftershocks afterward. All the damage had been concentrated in Shibuya, and the epicenter had been observed to be far too shallow. Yet, not a single scientist was speaking up. Whenever someone raised even the smallest doubt, they were quickly shouted down as an idiot conspiracy theorist.
ただの陰
I
謀論
wish it
だ
was
ったら
just
い
a
いのだ
conspiracy
な。
theory.
というと？
What do you mean?
すべての元
I
凶
think
は
that light might have been the
あの
cause of
光自体
everything.
にあるのでは
And the
ないか
earthquake
と
was just a side
私は
effect
考
of
えてい
it.
る。事実、
本気で言って
Are
る
you
のか？
serious?
じゃあ君
Then
は
what do you think that
光
light
の正体を
was?
何だと思ってるんだ？
それが
If
分か
I
れば
knew,
苦労
my
しない
wife would be a whole lot easier.
ただ、
But I'm sure that
何
someone
者かの
caused
手に
it.
よって引き起こされたものだと私は確信している。
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you figure that out some other time? All I want is for you to solve the case, and soon. Anyway, saw that Shinja-san and Kunosata-san were about to start arguing, and readjusted her tote bag on her shoulder. I'm finished here, right? Then, goodbye. See you at school, Miyashiro-senpai. Yeah,
それじゃ
see
あ
you.
な。
ウキもまたね。
See you around, Yuki.
てかもっと
Cheer
元
up.
気出せよ。
She patted Yamazoi lightly on the head and left the examination room. Let's go, head pats. Yamazoi softly whispered, "Yes, ma'am," as she watched her go. After that, Kunosata-san began to mumble to herself as she started to look at our data on Dad's PC. Thank you for the head pats. There was a different look in her eyes than any I'd seen before. To be honest, she looked a little crazy. But it wasn't the look of a mad scientist. It was as if she was concealing some dark obsession. I'd seen these kinds of eyes somewhere before. Where was it? As soon as I remembered, a chill ran down my spine. That pyrokinetic. That girl who might be Minamisawa Senri. They looked just like her eyes. They were the eyes of someone bent on revenge, consumed by hatred and rage. There should be an earthquake in that strange light. And the relationship they likely had with our powers. I rolled around in my bed, thinking about everything that had happened. And then I thought back to the crazy look in Kunosata-san's eyes. She looked just like the pyrokinetic. Revenge, huh? And does Minamisawa Senri hate me for what I did that day? Does she still hate me even now? That's crazy. I was a little kid. There's no way she'd be mad about something that happened so long ago. I tried to say it aloud to convince myself. But that pyrokinetic was behaving like a normal person. It was hard to believe she was sane. She was a beast. An animal without a conscience that was stalking the streets of Shibuya with bared fangs. At least, that's how she had seemed to me. And the terrifying words she said when she saw me. She had looked at me and she said, "I found you." Did I end up putting my life at risk without even realizing it? And the more I thought about it, the more my blood began to run cold. If I'd known this was going to happen, I would have just listened to Kurisu from the very beginning. Why am I acting so wimpy? I sat up on the bed. That's right, I had my power. Even if that woman was Minamisawa Senri, and she was trying to kill me out of revenge, I wouldn't just sit there and let her. But what if she attacked me when I was with Kurisu? And what if things got so dangerous that I couldn't protect my own life or Kurisu's without killing her? Could I really kill Minamisawa Senri right in front of Kurisu? I almost jumped at the sudden noise. The sound was from my new smartphone. I finally gotten a new one before I went to the hospital today. I had totally forgotten. I remembered how Ito had gotten a call from my old phone after I'd lost it and hesitated a little. I looked at the screen, trembling. Caller. Oh no way, Serika. No, it's just Onoe. Hello? Oh, Taku. Hey. What's up? Are you in a bad mood? Did something happen at your exam? No, that's not it. You can't fool me, okay? Whenever your voice is like that, you're worried about something. Evidently, it wasn't just Kurisu and Naribita who could tell when I was lying. So, what is it? I wasn't sure if I should tell her, but it was Serika I was talking to after all. I told her everything I'd been thinking about. A white light? And you were with me back then, weren't you? Do you remember anything? Well, I was out cold, so I didn't see it. You carried me to the hospital, remember? No, that's right. I could still remember how Serika felt when I carried her on my back. Until then, I hadn't really treated her differently than any other boy, but at some point, she started to grow into a woman. When I carried her on my back, I was surprised. That was what a girl felt like. Uh-huh. Sorry for making you do that. Thanks. Why bring that up now?
僕とお
We're
前の
friends,
仲
you
だ
know. It's nice to have an old friend, isn't it? Sarika sounded happy, but the tone of her voice quickly dropped. Oh, but that girl who's Nanchan's old friend is causing you a lot of problems right now, isn't she?
お前も気
You
を
be
つけろ
careful too. I
昔
wasn't the
地下
only
施
one
設
who
で
saw
南
Minami
沢
Sawa
千里を
Senri
目
down
撃したの
there.
は僕だけじゃないんだからな
I'll be fine. I'm sure you'll protect me. Huh? Huh? Are you not planning on protecting me? No, that's not it. Just...
ただその
I fell silent, but I could tell that Sarika was nodding to herself on the other side of the phone. Oh, I see. So that's why you're not sure what to do. More head pats. It's my lucky day. I'm done. Even though I hadn't said anything, she seemed to realize my problem. Could I really kill someone if it meant saving someone? But you know, Taku. I think that even if it were her best friend, Nochan would kill them without a second thought if she had to do it to protect you. Oh. Of course, I would too. I'd do anything for you. And I don't think I'd lose to anyone, ever.
尾上
No way. What about you, Taku? Maybe she was right. Kurisu would probably kill her friend if it was the only way to protect us.
でも
But
そんな
I
こと
can't let
苦し
Kurisu
みさせ
do
ていいわ
that.
けない
If that woman really was Minami Sawa Senri, it wasn't Kurisu who needed to do it. It was me, right? That's right. That was the only way to overcome my past trauma too. Oh, but today's the 18th, right?
どうした
Why
い
is
きな
that
り
important? Following Sarika's conversations was as impossible as ever. Oh, I was just thinking that the next murder won't be for a while.
すぐに起きない
I looked at the calendar and then realized.
次は
The next is the
23日か
23rd, huh? Since these killings seem to be following the new Gen madness, the next murder would probably be on the 23rd. After that would be Finger Food on October 28th, and Dokkyun Puzzle on November 4th. If we could get through the 23rd, we'd be safe for a while. Yep, so we may be safe until then.
とはいえ
But that means we'll have to spend the whole day running on the
24時間
23rd.
逃げ回らなきゃいけないんだよな
Then let's all stay together that day. Even if she hates you, I don't think she can just show up when we're all together.
なる
I
ほ
see.
ど
And that might be our
そういう
only
作戦しかない
plan.
か
Yeah. If we could avoid the murderer that way, we'd win. We could have everyone in the club help and go to some place that's open all night. Or if Dr. Sakuma says it's okay, we could stay at Alba Dorm.
尾上
Anyway,
お前
You're
意外
smarter
と
than you
考えてるんだ
look.
な
Huh? That's a big compliment. No, it's not. It's not a compliment at all. But whenever I was in trouble or worried about something, Sarika had always been there to listen to me. She was one of the few people who really understood me. Of course, I was too embarrassed to tell her that, and I had no plans to ever do so. Okay, Taku. Good night. Sweet dreams.
ああ
Yeah,
おやすみ
good night. I hung up and looked at the calendar on the wall again.
10月23
October
日
23rd.
犯人はど
What
う
was
動
the
き
killer going to do?
どんな犯罪を犯すんだろうそれは本
Was
当
it
に
really some kind
何
of
らかのメッセー
message?
ジなんだろうか そして狙われている
Am
の
I
は
really the target?
それとも
Or just like we'd expected, nothing happened over the next few days. There were no sign. Yeah, there was no sign of that woman and no new arson cases, which meant no news about the case. I knew Judgment Day was drawing near, though, so rather than screwing around like I had been before, I was trying to figure out how to use my power to protect myself and everyone else. And then, in the midst of our everyday lives, with the same unchanging days just repeating, we slowly greeted the dawn of October 23rd.
とりあえず
So nothing's happened
今
so
のとこ
far,
ろは何
right?
もなしか。
Yeah.
よかったっすね。
Aren't you glad
宮
Miyashiro
代先輩
senpai? It's all thanks to your precious Hinai-chan, who went out of her way to accompany you. You could thank me by buying me a mango fruit parfait at Samaza
ごちそうしてくださいね。
Senzokuya, okay?
何言って
What
ん
are
だ
you talking
お前だ
about?
って
They might
狙
be
われて
after
るか
you
もしれないだろ
too.
お互い様
Wow,
ドケチ
cheapskate.
ちょっとみんな
Listen, everyone.
気を抜
It's
く
too
のは
early to
早
let
すぎ
your
るわ
guard down.
問題
This
は
is
こ
where
れから
things
な
will
んだ
start
か
to
ら
get tough. Nothing had happened during school. We made sure that nobody was alone during break periods, and it paid off.
あの
What is it, Yamazoe? Is
私
it
も
okay
一
for
緒
me
に
to
ここ
be
にいてよ
here?
かったんでしょう
I'm
か
not a student.
学園の生徒でもないのに
今日は
Today
特
is
別だ
special. You're a
君だって
psychic
能力者なんだ
too,
か
so
ら
they might come
狙わ
after
れないと
you.
も限らないだろ
そういうこと
That's right.
今
Make
日が
sure you
無事
stay
に
with
終わ
us
るま
until the
で
day is
絶
over,
対に私た
okay?
ちと離れてはダメよ
Yes, ma'am. Yamazoe had seemed uncomfortable in this new environment all day. I mean, fair.
で、
So,
これから
what
どう
do
す
we
ん
do
の
now?
そろそろ学校
People
も
are
人が
starting
少
to
なくなる
leave,
し
so we should probably
移動
go
した方が
somewhere
いいわね
else.
渋谷で
Let's go
遅く
somewhere.
まで空いている
Blah,
店
blah,
へ行こ
blah. Let's go to someplace
う
in
悪いけど
Shibuya that's
みんな
open
も付
late.
き合ってくれ
You
るか
guys don't mind coming with me, right? This might be a silly, goofy idea, but like, what if they just leave Shibuya? You know? Go visit Ikebukuro or Shinjuku. Some other place, you know? Just a thought. Because all the killing is being done at Shibuya.
しょうがない
Oh,
っすね
fine. Thanks
そ
for
の
the
代わり宮
invitation.
代先輩のおごりでよろしく
有村
You know what?
他のメン
Arima,
バーは
forget
と
the
もか
other
く
members.
お前
You and I
は
will
割り勘
split
だ
the bill.
What?
What? Senpai, you jerk. Demon. Absolute fiend. Call me whatever you want.
それで
So,
どこ行くの？
where do we go?
カラオケとか
Karaoke, maybe?
できれば
I'd rather go
懐
someplace
的に優
cheap.
しいところにしてくれ
Hmm.
だ
So
と
the
す
usual
ると
place then.
行き先はいつものあそこだねよう来たの
Welcome. Take
ゆる
your
りと過ごして
time.
ゆくがよいどう
Thanks.
もお主た
Oh,
ちか
it's just you
好きな
peasants.
席に座
So
ってよ
wherever
い
you
ぞ
like. We chose a seat by the window with a good view. Cafe Lux took over a whole floor of a classy two-story business building near Shibuya's residential district. Thanks to the window seat, we were able to see all around the building, and if she showed up, we'd be able to spot that pyrokinetic Minamisawa Senri, if that's who she was, immediately.
閉店までここ
We
に
can
い
stay
ら
here
れる
till they
ね
close, huh?
そのために
We
は
need
た
to
くさ
order
ん
a
注文
lot
しなき
then.
ゃ
Excuse me.
もう一度確認
Just
し
saying
と
this
く
once more. You're paying for yourself,
Arima,
Arima.
え
Aww.
ー、
Hmm.
どれ
Are you ready to
注
order?
文は決ま
I'm
った
busy,
のか
so make it quick.
忙しいからさっさとオーダーするように
Ma'am, if you're busy, I can help around the store. Okay, please. Huh? Hey, Yamazawa, customers don't have to help the staff. Actually, you're not allowed to do that. Huh? I'm not? You're not. Okay, I'll take everything from here to here. Don't try to order the whole menu when I'm not looking. I'm not paying for your bill. Aww. Oh no way. What's wrong? And the cream from the cream puff fight you just ate got in my hair. How did she pull that off when she has hair that short? I mean, her hair's like longer than mine, and I can easily get food in my hair, so like, it just has to be long enough to touch your mouth, and her hair definitely qualifies. That's a big yawn, Hana. You too, Ito. Come on, man. You're getting too relaxed. Stay sharp. And it's bad manners, too. I can't help it. We've been here for hours, just killing time. We've been at Cafe Locks for 4 hours already. At first, everyone had been tense and alert, but it seemed like we were starting to hit our limits. Arimura and I seemed to be relaxing a little. If we were alone, we would have been afraid, but now we were surrounded by our friends. And if you added in the waitress and the other customers, there were even more people here now. We couldn't imagine someone just barging in and attacking us. Listen here, peasants. The waitress had walked over at some point while I was looking out the window and was standing next to me. How many hours are you planning on staying here? If you're not going to order more... Oh, we will. We'll order. Please give us a menu. I guess we had to order extra after all. It was only natural, but it was putting a big dent in my budget for the month. Here, have a menu. Thanks, Taku. What do you want? Surika took the menu and handed it to me. Let me see. Something cheap, something cheap. As I flipped through the menu, I saw... That's not supposed to be there. That's a sumo sticker. I felt horribly dizzy, and my vision started to get blurry. It felt horrible and hard to breathe. It's the same as that night. The elephant thrower shock, which had tortured Arimura and I on the night we were attacked by the pyrokinetic, was right in front of me. Everything started to go dim. No, not now. Stay strong. Hang in there. Hang in there. Okay, I managed to get a hold of myself. But where did everybody go? I don't understand. How?
糸
Where?
和樹有村山添
They're gone. Not just my friends, but even the waitress disappeared. Everybody's gone.
嘘
This can't be happening.
誰か
Hello? Is anybody there? I called out to the back of the cafe, but there was no sign that anyone was there.
くそ
Damn
なん
it.
でだよ
What's going on? The sound.
この音
The sound is... All of the other sounds had disappeared from the world. The music that had been playing in the cafe was gone, and so were the sounds of the cars that sometimes passed by on the road. There was nothing but strange silence and dark gloom. I could only hear one thing now. That terrifying sound. She was getting closer. And the footsteps were coming up to the stairs to the cafe. Shivering with fear, I forced myself to quietly open the door to the cafe, and then snuck out and went to the landing. Trembling, I looked down the stairs to the first floor, and there I saw... That's... Our eyes met. Our eyes met for an instant. I saw those eyes like cold fire, looking up at me from beneath the hair that covered her whole face. I knew it. That was... That's the pyrokinetic from before. Minamisawa Senri. And almost as if she could sense my fear. Minamisawa Senri looked at me and smiled. It was the smile of a beast that had found its prey. I found you. Chapter 8, Betrayal, an entanglement of erosive cases. Well, this is a fun note to leave off on, don't you agree? Shit does keep on happening, huh? Oh boy, oh boy. God, only 2 more chapters until our first ending, huh? That's actually crazy. Damn. Ah. Just ah. We do be progressing through the game, don't we? You know, as one does when they play a game. Progress. Oh. As one does, yes. Exactly. You get me. You understand me. But anyways, Chaos Child. Stuff sure do keep on fucking happening. I'm glad Uki is okay, generally speaking, though. What do you mean? Chaos Child is super Christmassy. Found family, friends being near a cozy fire. Protect that learns the values of family. Still Christmassy. Thank you guys so much for joining. Yeah, I'll catch you all next time, be it tomorrow or sometime within the next week. Finger guns into oblivion. Until next time, fare thee well. Yeah, sure. Bye.